world where everything seems to be going sideways. When you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap. You deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com.
Now the KTOX 1340 AM Tri-State weather. It's clear and 71. Wind is light and variable from the north. Today, clear with a high in the mid-90s. Tonight, partly cloudy with the low in the low 70s. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with the high in the upper 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with the low in the upper 60s. That's your Tri-State weather on KTOX 1340.
You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is Luca-Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcast, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid. You work for us.
There we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. I'm almost shaky today. Kind of an interesting day for many reasons. First of all, it is my anniversary. Yes, hard to believe, but I was allowed to stay on the air for 3 years. Can you believe that? Not only time is going so fast, but I'm pretty shocked, a guy like me with my accent, with my probably poor grammar, especially when I get tired, I have this opportunity to be here, and it is great. And I want to say thank you, first of all, to you, the listeners, to putting up with me, and of course to the station. And I need to go back, and I want to thank, of course, the present. 3 years ago, this gentleman who used to be the owner of the station, Mr. Deves, gave me this opportunity. At the beginning, honestly, I was almost laughing. I said, Dave, are you serious? I mean, really, people... What happened? I don't know, but see how big they are. I have a caller on 5. Okay, let them wait for a second. They can stay a second. Anyway, bottom line, I want to thank Deves. That normally I completely disagree on almost everything, or at least, it gets on my nerves on many topics. But you know what? I must give him credit. First of all, he's always been completely pro-freedom of speech. And that's something that I really respect, of course. And he never told me what to say on my show, okay? Even, we had difference of idea. He always gave me complete freedom of speech. And I really want to thank him for that. That's regardless, sometimes we get on each other's nerves. But he's been always very fair with me. And also I want to thank, of course, the new owner of the station, Mr. Rubin. Because as I said many times, this is his toy. And I'm not expecting that what I say must be, make people happy. Honestly, I say what I say. I tell you always what I think. I have no filters. And if people don't like what I say, two things. You can turn it off. And, of course, this station can say, get a hike and take a hike. And that's fine. I have no problems with that. But I want to thank him, of course, because Mr. Rubin has been always like Mr. Hayes. Never told me what I can say or cannot say. Now, this is the beginning. First of all, today is a different show. First of all, it's the anniversary, my anniversary on the air, and I'm very humble. I'm very thankful. Think about it. For a guy coming from Italy, was born in Rome, I tell you, it's still something like a dream. To be here, to share my ideas, my opinions, my fears, my dreams, to engage with you, to be on the air, it is an opportunity. It is a privilege. I consider that a privilege. So, but I would like to make this show a little different, since normally I do not come to the station. Normally, I always broadcast from my Arizona side. And of course, I like to do the show in this way for many reasons. But today is an opportunity to, let's say, interact better with you. So I would like to open the lines, of course. I have some topics that I would like to touch, especially during the second hour. Please do not miss it. Something very important, not just about the Second Amendment, but also about how the federal government is using infiltrators in patriotic organizations or just among regular people to create crisis. And I have a personal experience I'd like to share, very personal. It's something I think you should know. Then, of course, we have the hour about love at the end. We can talk about everything, can go from recipes to, can give you a serenade live, whatever you want, okay? But, of course, it's also your hour. And then, of course, the first hour we'll have a great guest coming right now, probably is already calling, is a guest that is been probably one of my first listeners since the beginning. And I know at the beginning we didn't really understand each other, at least, he's a Democrat. At the time I was a Republican. Now, of course, I'm an independent, you know that. But funny thing, as I said, the purpose of the show was to learn from each other, to all divide, to break these divisions, to break these walls created by the parties, and to become Americans before, become good party boys or party girls, Be American first, and then be a good party boy later. Honestly, it shouldn't be any party at all, in my opinion, but that's your right if you want to. Now, his name is Ronald O'Donnell, who is also running for California Senate. And by the way, he won the primaries. I already had him on the show a few times. And he won the primaries in a very historical, let's say, battle against his own party. Because when a Democrat, first of all, stands for the truth, and more important, does not want to drink the Kool-Aid of his own party, how can you go there as an American who believe in the rule of law and support a criminal like Hillary Clinton? I couldn't. And he didn't. He's not supporting Hillary Clinton. So much that Mr. Ronald O'Donnell, even as a Democrat, he will vote, according to my latest information, for Mr. Trump. That I'm not here even to support Trump. As I said, I'm an independent, okay? You can vote for wherever you want. But I tell you something, and I'll tell you more in the second hour. If you vote for Hillary, you are my enemy, and you will have American blood on your hands. And not just American blood, also the blood of many innocents around the world. If you support peace, and I'm all for you, how can you go out there and vote for such a mass murderer, New World Order whore that she is? Okay, think about it. Remember when she went down to Libya, cold blood murdering the leader of Libya? We came, we saw, he died. Gaddafi. I mean, you kidding me? Syria and Algeria and everything else you can imagine this woman, she's doing with Mr. Obama. Don't forget Benghazi. I mean, American men were there on the ground dying and bleeding, while we know very well that she was given the order of stand down. And maybe Obama was doing coke in the White House, okay? Seriously. If you don't like what I say, I don't care. But I tell you something, you're always welcome to be here on the air. Now that I will open the lines, I have only two rules. First of all, we are on line. You're more than welcome, I'm not exactly Mr. Shakespeare. But please speak with the condition of family language. So do not use any cuss word. Otherwise, you will be terminated. If you want to call me, if you say that I have something negative against me, that's more than fine. I ask you only one thing, though. Articulate your concept. If you want to say that I'm an idiot, fine. But just tell me why I'm an idiot. That's the only thing I ask you. Number 3, please, we don't talk about in the show about Kardashian or football or any other thing, okay? There is other shows you can do this type of stuff. Now, do we have somebody, I think, already on the line, right? Bring him in, please. Who is there?
Oh, this is Ron O'Donnell, running for California State Senate District 23, and honored to have the opportunity to call into the 3rd anniversary of the Love, Guns, and Freedom radio show, luca-zanna.
Ronald, it is my pleasure, my friend. I still remember your first phone call when you call on the air, and I was here, and I was kind of fascinated that I had a listener say, wow, somebody's listening to the show. And you came out, and you remember the phone call, by the way, when you call in about the song, Don't Tread on Us?
Yeah, I love that song. I bought the song, in fact, and I passed it out. If you recall, I asked you to send me, 10 of them. And I sent them up, and I gave the song, Don't Tread on Us, to the leaders of the Democratic Party at the statewide convention last August in 2015. Wow, time's flying, huh?
Yes.
And passed it out to Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris and everybody that would take one. I just said, hey, you got to listen to this guy's music. I used to play in a band, and I wished I could play like that. I can't. It's beautiful. I hope. I hope you, during the show, play the tune.
You know what? I'm going to right now celebrate before, I want to drink now a little bit. I brought a beautiful bottle of Prosecco. And by the way, I invite everybody in the station here. If they bring a glass, I will share, okay? I promise I'm not a greedy bastard. I will share my beautiful Italian Prosecco from Treviso. Just bring a nice glass. Yes, I think we should do that right now. First of all...
for me, on the third-year anniversary... Because this is what brought us together, and I think I'm going to pour me a little glass of wine while I'm listening to it.
Okay.
I have that option right here now.
There you go. So let's do it together. Come on, you got your wine going. I got my Prosecco. Anybody around would like to enjoy a little bit of glass of Prosecco with me? I have it here. Okay, then we have the song going. 1 second. Here we go. Back. And that's Don't Tread on Us.
Don't tread on us, we're not afraid. You work for us, we're not your slaves. Don't tread on us, you crossed the line, soon you will pay for all your crimes. After a long train of abusive anticipation, now we've lost our patience. Yeah, you're trying to kill our constitution, to kill our pride. Now the wood is dry. Yeah. Don't tread on us, we're not afraid. You work for us, we're not your slaves. Don't tread on us, you cross the line, soon you will pay for all your crimes. You keep on pushing us into desperation. You'll only fuel our determination. Yeah.
Combining enthusiasm and savvy experience, Hydrographics and BS Arms at 5010 Highway 95, Suite 26 in Fort Mojave is your location for custom graphics and complete firearms care. No weenie stickers here. Hydrographics can do cool custom design graphics and hydro dipping on almost any solid surface. So, whether it's a gun, a dirt bike fender, or something totally off the wall, bring it in and let Jed show you over 5,000 designs that Hydrographics has in stock. There's something there just for you. Bruce at BS Arms can assist you.
And that is Don't Tread on Us, music and lyrics by myself, luca-zanna. Yes, Ronald, that song I think brought us together. And by the way, I must tell you, I always admit when I'm wrong. I remember when you were running for the first time for the same position that you're running now, the California State Senate. And, when I hear a Democrat wants to play my song, I was having some sort of cringes on my back, and I was saying, no, hell no, because I thought maybe they're going to misuse my song. But I tell you, and as I said, I always say when I'm wrong, I say never judge a person just because carries, let's say, a party member like that, because it doesn't mean anything. You proved me wrong, because I realize that you are an American first and a Democrat after.
Let me just say this. I want to go ahead and just say this. After listening to that beautiful music that you wrote and you produced and you sang, because that is your voice.
No, let me tell you something. Something I want to be sure everybody understands. I write the lyrics, I write the music, I produce the song. Thank God I do not sing. I mean, I can sing, of course, serenades, and maybe I can do some backup, but with my accent, I would sound like sopranos at least. Try to sing, I don't know, Bon Jovi, okay? Very funny. So I wouldn't do that. No, I can sing a serenade. I'm pretty good at that. But no, in my studio productions, I get the best singers I can afford, and that's what I have.
Well, I told you I had a musical background. I
Yes.
used to play in a band, but that's not why we're here. This is a salute to Love, Guns, and Freedom, to Zanna, from my friends in the United States military and the United States of America law enforcement agencies who believe that, number one, we are Americans first. Number one, we owe our allegiance to the soldiers and the veterans who have fought and died for our country to allow us to, continue the freedoms that we have today. And to them, and I've been given permission to say this, to you, on our behalf, we salute you.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. At least I really do. And as I said, one of the reasons why I wanted to start the show was to break the barriers, to say, no, let's stop. That's why I burned my Republican card, because I don't want to be a Republican anymore, especially when I realize how crooked the party is. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good people out there that trying their hard to keep the party together, at least the principles, because my allegiance is not to a party. When I became an American, I never swore an allegiance to any party, to any man, or to any woman out there. It was to the ideals, to the Constitution, to the principle expressed in the Declaration of Independence, and to the Bill of Rights, that it doesn't give us rights, but enunciate, reminds us the rights that we have. So that's for me my allegiance. That's why I said, I cannot be on the show and be a party boy. Because when it comes down, I was the first one to denounce Bush. And by the way, is it funny? People used to laugh at me or used to call me names 10 years ago. And now let's look at reality. And I wish I were wrong. Trust me. When you see the all Bush family officially endorsing Hillary Clinton, does it tell you that maybe something's wrong? Yes, it is. The same story with the Democrats. I mean, guys, come on, guys, stop talking and thinking that you owe any allegiance to a party. Look at this woman who really is. I don't even think she's a woman. I think she's a devil, but that's another story. Now, listen to me. That's why I support you. That's why even sometimes we have maybe some differences in socioeconomics. The fact that you are ready to pretty much put everything at the stake, losing also the support from the party. We talked about a few shows ago that your party does not support you, and they prefer to have the Republican winning because you are not there to kneel down and support Hillary. You say you want to vote for Trump, right?
That is correct. And can I first of all say something here, Zanna?
Of course.
I would love to say I want to do a shout out to people that I met through your program. George Repke in Germany is one that I can just think of off the top of my head. William Lassell, okay, he's in the Middle East. Alicia, she's right there in Kingman. I even met Patricia Rodriguez. She's an attorney, born and raised right in Kingman.
Wow.
Never met her.
Interesting.
Okay, hopefully she's going to be able to call in later.
Mm-hmm.
But she is now. I just appointed her 2 days ago to the California Democratic Party Central Committee in Sacramento. If you recall, the first time I called you, I appointed another attorney, Lenore Albert. who's now running for Assembly District 72 in Orange County, California.
Yes.
And she's on the ballot for November. So what I'm saying is our movement from the very first show you ever had till now has resulted in 3 candidates.
Listen, and as I said, you're right. Another important thing I realize this show is bigger than, of course, than me and the show itself and the radio. Because first of all, I thank KTOX to broadcasting the signal locally. But the idea is beyond KTOX, is beyond also the area where we broadcast. Through the internet now, we are reaching so many areas out there. I mean, listeners in Italy.
My Democratic card with it because I was about ready to do it that day. And I said, hey, I can't because I have this opportunity right now and I need to utilize it. And look what's happened now. The movement has grown.
Yes. Let me say something, Ronald. Let me say something. My point is this, I always say if you want to fix the machine, the car, you must be part of the car and you must get your hands a little dirty. So, I think I am the exception because, as I said, since I have a radio show, I wanted to be sure out there that I'm not here to take any sides but the truth, okay? So I don't want to be any more a Republican, a Democrat, or no, even libertarian. I'm an independent, really. I have no party. My allegiance is only to America and to the Constitution, as I said before. It's Constitution. But the idea is, but for you guys, out there, I think it's very important, like what you're doing, like I hope also other Republicans what they're doing, to be part of your party, and more important, change the party from within. And when I say change, I don't mean change in a say like Obama says. No, keep it honest, keep it truth, keep it to the point that, if you are a criminal, you should be exposed. I don't care if it's your party leader, if you're chairman, or if you want to be president. We put the truth first. We put the rule of law first. We put the Constitution first. And at that point, people like you and other people in the Republican Party, we can definitely make, of course, somebody now, let's see who is interesting.
Okay, let's
Stay there.
I'd love to hear who.
Okay, this is very interesting. I have a call, by the way, that I will have later on. Anyway, no, this.
Take it. I'd love to hear
Let's see.
who's calling.
One second. Let's see who is calling. This is funny. I like a live like this.
People
Hello?
are excited.
Hey, Ed, I'm live on the air, just to let you know. Right now. Anyway, we're here. If you want to call us, by the way, let me give the phone number since you're here. You're listening to KTOX 1340 AM. If you want to call, 855-586-9134. 855-586-9134. And if you want to give me a call during the second hour, I appreciate it, okay? 855, I say again, let me say again to everybody. By the way, I say, guys, you can call, and I welcome everybody to call, and I really enjoy your feedback, even if you disagree. Honestly, especially if you disagree with me, I'd like to hear from you. One thing I said, only one rule. Please, we are on the air. We must comply with the FCC rules. So do not cuss or do not say any type of words that could be, give us a big fine. So we don't want that. And the second thing, please, let's keep the show on topic, okay? So love, guns, and freedom. This is not Kardashian. This is not football or other stuff like that, okay? They have other venues for that type of topic. That's it. So 855-586-9134. All right, Ed, hopefully I'll talk to you later, okay? Now, what we have? Somebody already? Wow, that's fast.
Let's hear it.
Let's see who is he. Who is there? Caller.
This is Mr. Jared Fish.
Okay, Minister, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Where are you calling from, Minister?
I'm calling from Tehachapi, California.
Wow. Interesting. How did you find out about the show?
I'm actually Ron's buddy.
Okay, that's good. Ron, I'm glad you have a buddy there. You got the floor. Go ahead.
So, where were we at on this conversation? Because I just kind of called in. I was on the road.
Okay, the conversation is, this is love, guns, and freedom. We talk about love, guns, and freedom, and right now we are bashing Hillary. Not because I want to bash anybody, but because the facts are that Hillary, she is a war criminal in my opinion, and she's part of the elite of the New World Order, and she's pretty much ready to continue all the crimes and corruption that her husband did when he was in office. So that's pretty much the topic, and I said, I don't care about I don't care about Republicans. I don't care about. Hey, when I talk. Hey,
about the case.
Wait, one sec.
About the case.
Hey, one sec. When I talk, please let me finish talk, and then somebody else interacts. Otherwise, we talk over each other. So anyway, you can talk about everything you want related to the topics we have here. Of course, you want to talk about Ronald, you're more than welcome. I give you the floor. Go ahead.
All right. Well, everybody that's listening, I just wanted to say thanks for listening, first off. Second off, Ronald O'Donnell right there, he's a good, upstanding citizen. He believes a lot of good things that, we need to get this country back on track, illegal foreclosures and guns. We need to re-weaponize our citizens instead of taking our freedoms away, especially in California. There's so many new laws that are being passed. It's really ridiculous. And me as a law enforcement officer, some of those rules do apply and some of them don't. So I can have different things that regular citizens can't. But really, it's pretty ridiculous. Just like the AR-14s or AR-15s, you got to have a bullet button in California, and other states allow it. And anyways,
let me ask you a question. I'm so glad you called. So you are like a police officer, sheriff, deputy. What are you, if I can ask you?
I actually work in the Tehachapi prison. I'm a peace officer through California as a prison guard.
Okay. So interesting. It's funny because today I crossed the border, something that I try to do as less as possible. And when I crossed the border from Arizona to California, the first thing came out, the big sign, put your seatbelt right now. It's the law. So I was freaking out. Oh my God, because I always forget. And, and I said many times, I understand the seatbelt can help you out, but that's my right to wear the seatbelt when I think is right. The moment that I have to think that if I do not comply with an order from the government, in this case, something about my body, I'm not endangering anybody else, okay? I think that's the proof that we are slaves, and government, the state, owns, or at least claims ownership of our body. Because, never should be a law to force somebody to put a seatbelt or even a helmet. Even I understand can be very helpful for your health. Don't get me wrong, and your safety. But, people should have free choice. And, of course, with freedom comes responsibility. That's for sure. You better be ready to pay the bills in case you break your neck, okay? But that's another story.
Correct.
So the point is, that the first thing really freaks me out. And then, of course, when you talk about the AR-15, today I was saying to a friend of mine, Mike, when I just came, I had to come back home after I was already 5 miles on the road because I forgot that in the back of my truck I had 2 empty magazines for some of my AR-15s. They are pieces of metal. That's all they are. They don't shoot. They don't start to jump. They don't explode. They're just regular 30 rounds magazine. That in Arizona, I am a law-abiding citizen. If I cross the border, come to California with a piece of metal, automatically I become a potential felon. So that's pretty much very scary. Seems like almost going back to Italy, seriously. Yeah. Anyway, listen, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much, and also for your support for Ronald, okay? Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Ronald, you got a great support there, also from Peace Officer.
From your show again. There'll be more. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that will surprise you that support what you're saying, but they don't have the courage to speak out because they're afraid of losing their job. If they speak out against Hillary Clinton, they could, like what happened to me. They attempted to arrest me twice. In fact, they arrested me the first time. They actually did arrest me in Pennsylvania when I was 5 minutes from testifying at a trial in Pennsylvania, in a state court proceeding, and I was arrested in the parking lot.
Wow.
And then here, I was arrested when I tried to give them $1,000, to pay my filing fees, and there was a sheriff there, but I had, a state law enforcement officer right standing behind me that drove me there.
Okay.
They tried to arrest me when I went to the mall where the Democratic Party headquarters is. And I'm just saying to you.
We have another caller. Wait, stay there. We have another caller. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Luca, this is Frank.
Hey, Frank, how are you, my friend?
Good. I just wanted to call and congratulate you for 3 successful years on KTOX.
Hey, listen, I appreciate it, by the way. You were with me the first day when somehow Mr. Hayes created the monster here. You remember that? You know, I remember still the day when I came dressed as a monk for the religion of freedom. You remember that?
I do.
That was fun. That was fun. Anyway, I want to thank you guys. You know, you always try to at least, even as I said, with our differences, at least they always gave me the chance to express my opinions and whatever I believe. And by the way, you know, I remember also during the time of the famous software recall and the lawsuit against Mojave County, you know, for the McCain story. You know, KTOX has always been there, the front line, and also on the second line, because there were not many other stations out there beside you guys. So I want to thank you, okay?
Yeah, I remember walking that picket line up there at Sockwell's office.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. We gave him some good time, man.
Yeah, well, I hope to continue on with your show.
Thank you. I appreciate the call, Frank. I appreciate it, okay?
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye. All right. As I said, this is everybody here is welcome. I really appreciate it. And as I said, if there is people that out there want to say something that normally you cannot say, because normally I record the show, this is the opportunity. Go ahead. Another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Oh, me, Luca?
Yes. Where are you?
I'm Ed from Plum Crazy.
Hey, Ed. How are you, my friend?
Good. I'm out detailing a VW Bug I bought yesterday.
Wow. So now we went from $150,000 Maserati. We went down to how much for this, what is this little new Bug that you have?
Yeah, I bought a little Baja. My wife the other night said, you know, Ed, why don't we get ourselves a little Baja? So I went out and bought one.
What is exactly Baja? Explain to me, because I'm from Italy. Sometimes I'm a little slow with this stuff.
Baja is ours is a 1967 Beetle.
Yes,
And
okay.
basically what they do is they tear the fenders off, they raise it up a little bit, they put some bigger tires on it, and they put some fiberglass fenders and whatnot, so you can go out in the desert. They're not 4x4s or anything, but, you know, you can go out there and...
They're kind of fun, I see.
Maybe half. Yeah, they're fun. It's something, they're cheap, $3,500. You know, you can't beat that. You go out and buy a Polaris for $20,000. It's just like, what a waste of money.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, that's good. I want to see that. By the way, you know, I was having you down for next Sunday. If you're still okay with me, I wanted to do a very special broadcast from your $150,000 Maserati while we'll drive around Lake Havasu. We will talk about, of course, cars. Normally I don't talk about cars, but the reason why I want to talk to you about cars was about the proof that we are already living under a communist, let's say, system, when you have a state that can charge you a crazy amount of money just because you have a car that you paid more. I mean, I think we all should be equal. I believe in equality. So, you know, I don't think we should have different type of fees for different type of cars. You know, if you're able to buy a more expensive cars, good for you. And I don't think the government or the state should punish you. Remind me exactly how much you paid for your registration and your license plate for your Maserati, because I'm still in shock.
I haven't yet. What's going on is they gave me basically they showed me what I expect to pay, and they broke it down, but they told me that they have not received the paperwork from Maserati yet, so they just gave me a temporary to put up in my window. So as of right now, I haven't paid anything, and I am waiting for them to call me. But I remember just the plate alone. This is not their ridiculous fees that that goes along with it, but just the plate was $1,500. Just the plate.
Wow.
And then I don't know. They're breaking down the rest of it, and I'm just looking at it, going, "Wow." But I've noticed there's a lot of people that buy high-end cars, and they're basically they register them in New Hampshire, Montana, Oregon, and I believe Nevada. And what they do is they have a residence there, a property. And they dodge the state tax, and they dodge the state registration, and then they basically register it out of state, which is wrong, because if you're going to buy something, you pay within the state. I mean, I don't agree with the high expense that they're charging you, but I'm not going to go out and dodge, because we have a residence up there in New Hampshire. I can go ahead and register things for nothing up there, and then dodge my plates here in Arizona, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I understand.
You guys compared to everyone else.
For me, unfortunately, it is really, it gives me a heart attack, this idea. It's not even about the money, it's the principles, seriously. Because that shows, that unfortunately, that there is a system that where 51% of the people get together and they can say, by the way, now you're allowed to have this. Now you will pay this because we say so. And that's never was the idea of our founding fathers, never was the idea of our republic, where everyone's rights supposed to be defended. Even if you have a 1% against 99%, that's still your property, okay? And that's now, of course, the last 50, 60 years, we get brainwashed, we get cooked slowly in the cold water like frogs, that after all, you gotta pay this, you gotta pay that. People maybe forgot that before 1913, we did not have income tax, before the creation of this monstrosity called the private Federal Reserve. And we still, because by the way, in the Constitution doesn't exist the income tax with the income of the individual. Same story now, the state getting away, starting to get creative, because after all, it's for the kids, or for the children, or for the school system. I just pay my little bill for one of my properties for property taxes in one of the county in Arizona. I have some properties, and the school system was taking about 70% of that bill. And I don't have any kids in school. I mean, is that not different from Obamacare, where they try to force you to pay for a product that you do not want or maybe you do not need? Seriously, that's extortion. That's legalized extortion. Because I believe in charity, I said, but I do not believe in government just because you have 51% of the people, they can get together like a bunch of gangs and they say, okay, now legally you will pay that or go to jail. So, I never own a new car. One of the reasons why I never own a new car, first of all, I'm not rich as you are. But regardless, I refused the idea. Even when I was a kid, I was in Italy. My father used to be a car dealer. We owned the company. So I could have every car I wanted. But since I was 18, the idea that I had to pay every year that crazy fee, especially in Italy, is very expensive, to the state, just because I own one thing. I need to pay that fee every year. And, when the car is new and you pay much more, I refuse. It's against my religion. So that's for me why. But, I like to talk to you more next week. Hopefully we can have a nice ride, in your car. That would be a great conversation, okay?
Yeah, that sounds fine. But remember, Luca.
Yes.
I'm basically just making it every week.
That's
like
okay.
Everyone else.
We're all making it. We're all making it. It's all relative, you you make it to the gas station.
I'd like to add,
how much you pay for?
I'd like to add.
Go ahead.
It's every 2 days, $70. But anyways, what I wanted to tell you is what you were talking about. We don't really own our home, even if you paid cash for your house.
Yes.
If you did not pay the tax, your county taxes, whatnot, your property tax, they're going to come take your house. Of course, they'll lien it.
Yes.
And then if you don't pay, they're taking it from you, and they're going to auction it off. So you don't own anything in this world anymore. And that's disgusting. Like our sewer project here in Lake Havasu really, really upsets me. They forced me to put sewer on my property. I didn't want it. And they did. And it harmed our city. And it's just very upsetting. And same thing with the Obamacare that you were talking about. They didn't even read the bill to people. We shouldn't even abide by it.
I agree.
Everyone's afraid.
I agree.
And that's why it's important to have a good sheriff. Because if a good sheriff would stand up for its citizens, people can all get together and say, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And they're protected. But, that's another story I don't want to get into right now. But it's time to just stand up. That's it. And, we got to quit putting our head in the sand.
I agree, Ed.
You're not afraid.
I agree, Ed. And I respect you for that, too. You're not afraid, too. And also your lady, she's always been out there. And I respect everybody out there who sticks for their beliefs, even if I disagree. Because at the point, we need to be at least have the courage of our own ideas. Otherwise, we're going to really become a bunch of cows. That's the reality. We don't want to have a nation of cows. I have people, sometimes I disagree, but I respect them. At least they make their case, and they are there, and they tell you where they're coming from. But for example, look at this, like Hillary, okay? That we know we have her own record, that she goes with Goldman Sachs and Wall Street, and she tells them one thing. And then she goes with the idiots out there that they still believe that Santa is in the sky and the elephants are pink, and she tell them another thing. That's exactly the type of politicians and also people that are really completely, I don't want to use the word hate, but I disgrace, really. Listen, Ed, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it, okay?
Yeah, it's good talking to you, Luke, and hope everyone's having a safe and nice weekend.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Ronald, are you still there?
I'm listening. I'm loving it. I'm just, I'm just sitting here enjoying every minute of it.
All right, my friend. I'm here. I had to stop. My Prosecco is hot. It's great. Well, more people are calling. Let's see. Maybe somebody else that time is. Let's see who is here. My brother Marco from Florida. Let me get my brother. 1 second. It's going to be fun. Hey, Marco, are you there? Aspetta, 1 second. We are live. Aspetta, 1 second. We're going to go now Italian here. 1 second. I'm going to make you laugh. Hey, Mexican can speak Mexican everywhere. We speak Italian. Marco, allora ci sei? Okay, this is my brother Marco, and he's not calling from Rome right now. He's in Florida, of course. But, Marco, can you speak English? Okay, Marco, we are here live on KTOX 1340 AM, and I was doing the oil business. By the way, my brother is into the oil business. He imports the best extra virgin olive oil from Italy. How's it going business there, Marco? Okay, then I'm going to charge you for this. Okay, they can't hear anywhere. Anyway, no problem. Marco, listen, grazie, Marco, for the call. I got to go. We don't have a signal very strong. But, if you want to call Marco, let me give you a phone number. Since this is an open call to everybody, write it down, Marco. Are you ready? Yeah, but shut up 1 second. Listen, write it down. Call this line because this doesn't work. Write it down. 855. You can now? Okay. Next time then, no problem. Un abbraccio, un bacione. Ciao, ciao, Marco. Grazie, ciao. Okay. Then we had the exotic moment, okay? I never really speak Italian anymore, but with my brother, my mom. All right. So, Ronald, please continue. What we were saying, Ronald.
What we were talking about is I was mentioning the fact that they tried to arrest me, and I mean these are the Democratic Party that tried to arrest me. It wasn't law enforcement. I just had a law enforcement official tell you he's my buddy. They are actually the people that do this are the operatives for the Democratic Party. That's why I don't even drive my car right now. I won't drive until after the election because I just know that it's going to happen and it's going to be an operative. And by the way, did I tell you that Hillary Clinton it was announced yesterday, transferred all of her funds from the Clinton Foundation, $1.8 billion to Qatar, the country of Qatar.
Yes.
And you know how we break news here?
Yes,
we break news every damn day. The first time we broke news was when I said Benghazi, 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 and it just cracked Christian. What's her last name? Come on, Christian. I hope she calls in.
Kristen Harper?
Yeah, and she couldn't stop laughing because she loved that phrase, Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. Well, now WikiLeaks just released that, oh, my goodness, what we said initially on this show for the very first time turned out to be true. Your breaking news and what we discussed on your very first show with me turned out to be 100% correct.
Yes.
Your show.
We have another caller. Let's see who is it. Caller, go ahead. Let's see who is calling.
Who's calling?
Who is calling? Caller. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi. Who are you?
I'm Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Bullhead City area.
Nice to meet you, Debbie. I think we never talked before, right?
No.
Okay, good. You got the floor.
Okay, so just wondering if you had a chance to hear the show that was right before yours. There was a young lady talking about how in Australia that they had confiscated guns, and she was saying it was just they saw a problem with the mass shooting in 1996, and so they created they have a solution, and she thought it seemed to think it was a really positive thing that transpired in Australia. So
yes,
since,
yeah, I heard that. Would you like my opinion on that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
First of all, I always believe that nobody should be guilty for somebody else's sin. The point is the collectivist mindset that I should be punished because, let's say, for example, my brother ate the jam or the marmalade without my mom's consent. Now, tonight, everybody's going to stay without dinner. That's wrong. If somebody does something wrong, should be punished. We already have laws on that. Number one, mentality. That's the first thing. I'm for the individual. I think we have individual rights. Among those, there is life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and, of course, also the right to self-defense, myself, not just against the criminal, because normally, look, today I have with me a rock. Can you hear that? Since in this state, unfortunately, I cannot carry my loaded Glock, I brought with me my rock. Okay? Think about how sad we are. In America, where I'm supposed to have the Bill of Rights, in the state of California is still part of this United States, in my opinion. As a law-abiding person, I'm afraid to even bring a slingshot, because that would be too dangerous, probably, and I would be tased on the spot. So I brought with me a rock. Probably that would be enough, too. But the point is this one. We should never be punished for somebody else's problems or crimes, number one. Number two, the fact that they did this sort of a complete let's say, gun control doesn't solve any real problem. Because, for example, look in England right now. Let's look at numbers. Of course, first of all, I don't really care. I don't care if 99% of the people that want to take my rights. I'm still not going to give you my rights. It is my right. Like I have a right to freedom of speech. I also right to defend myself against the criminal and against the corrupted criminal government. That's my right. That's the Second Amendment right. Your right, too, if you want to. You don't have to, let's say, exercise it, but you have the right. So the story is...
I agree. I think that you hit the nail on the head there when you were talking about the collectivist mentality, because that same young lady was talking earlier in the show about how some other people of other races are completely justified in lumping all white people together just because they're white and demonizing them basically for attitudes that other white people might have displayed. So again, that collectivist mentality popping out instead of us being seen as individuals. And what do you think of that?
No, I think it's true. I don't believe in black life, white life matters. We all lives matter. We are human beings. That's what I believe. There are good people in every race. There are bad people in every race. There are good cops and there are bad cops. At the moment that you are a human being, you're corruptible. You can be. That's why we have freedom to choose. That's why I believe that, like, for example, with freedom comes responsibility. Yeah, as a gun owner, I know I'm responsible for every bullet coming out of the barrel. Me, nobody else. And if I make a mistake, the community shouldn't be punished. You shouldn't be punished. It's my fault. Same story with...
Like you said about the marmalade.
Yeah, come on. I remember stories, thank God my mom wasn't like that. But I remember my friends, oh, my mom last night, nobody ate at all. Why? What happened? My brother stole the marmalade. And so what? You didn't steal it. What's your problem? That's exactly what we're facing today. And more important, I don't even believe these statistics because, for example, I read books, I read the news, and more important, I read the official documents from the government. In England right now, crime rates is skyrocketing. Cops are not even allowed to have guns. And what do you think? Look what happened in Paris, the most high gun control area in Europe, like England, like Italy, when they went down with AK-47 full automatic that not even a regular, probably, citizen could ever have, even with all the permits. So the point is a bad person, a criminal, always can find a way to commit a crime, even if he has to go down to get a knife, a kitchen knife. So much now that in England, and I'm not joking, I'm not trying to be funny here, they try to pass a law to register butcher knives. Can you believe that? They're going to put a serial number. This is insane. Insane.
How do you register your rock?
Yeah, I had to register my rock. It's here. It's loaded, by the way. Don't come close. Okay? Probably I need to have a permit when I come with a rock in the studio here in California.
Okay, well, thanks for your opinions, and it's good listening to you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Good
Bye-bye.
call. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, Ronald, are you still around?
Of course, I'm loving it. I love these guests.
Okay.
I love this show. This is wonderful.
Okay, listen to me. I stop at 2 glasses, and that's it, because I'm going to now go through and relax, and I need to drive in a few hours. So How many glasses did you get so far of wine?
Honestly, I'm only a third through on the first one.
Okay, so good. We're all clear. Okay, listen to me. You're going to become, maybe, or at least you have the opportunity to become a state legislator for the state of California. By the way, I am so amazed and proud of you that you were able to defeat your opponent in the primaries with a budget of just $500, and you had all the Democratic machine against you. So you did an incredible job no matter what will happen. But bottom line is you have a chance also maybe to make it. Now, when it comes down to the Second Amendment, something normally that the modern Democratic Party, unfortunately, really forgot what is about the Bill of Rights, what means the right to the people, for the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What is your position? What would you like to do if you are elected to reinstate, hopefully, our Second Amendment in California?
I was vacillating on the Second Amendment issue most of my life. You know, but when some guy, a Muslim, Islamic Muslim terrorist, walked into our local county, San Bernardino County School District here, headquarters, and murdered 24 teachers at a Christian, I'm allowed to say that, Christmas party, and those women, most of them were women, teachers that taught us autistic children and children with disabilities, were carried out to the morgue. I drove down to the morgue, and I realized that 24 were murdered, and another 12 were wounded, and there was no one in that room that was armed to protect them. That made my mind up. And I may sound, and I'm being called a racist and a white supremacist and a member of the Ku Klux Klan and all kinds of names, because what I'm saying is I support, at least if one person was in that room that was armed, covered, carried, trained, even if it was a teacher, that then it would have saved 24 lives. Maybe not all of them, but maybe half of them. But you know what? These are mothers of children. These are wives of husbands. These weren't just throwaway trash like Hillary says, the deplorables and white trash, she calls us.
Yes.
That's what she says about it.
And on top, the
don't even talk about it.
Yes, and at least you have a chance. I'm not saying that the guarantees because you have a gun you're going to make it, but you have a chance. And more important, it's your human right. And as I said...
Also, I believe, yes, we should train people to carry a firearm just like we train someone to drive a car.
I understand.
I would say they should go through a class. They should be trained for efficiency, and then there's no problem. I can see that. But what I am 100% against is just the stripped-down violation of carrying, like you just mentioned, a little piece of metal that you find in your car, and all of a sudden you're a criminal, you're a felon. That is, there you go. You started out with, you're not allowed to swear. So
yes. Okay, listen, we will talk more about guns during the second hour. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca-Zanna live today on KTOX 1340 AM. Second hour is going to be still open lines, but we will talk more about guns. And also a very important thing. We have informants, FBI informants among us. And I have one very close to me. Go ahead. How many more minutes do we have, Denise? 2 minutes. Hey, just to let you know, before I forget, we have 2 more minutes. Just to let you know, please, listeners, this show and this station needs your help, okay? So support the sponsors of KTOX if you can. We talk on this station about things that normally many other stations you wouldn't even know allowed to think. Forget about to talk. If you want to support myself and Love, Guns, and Freedom, of course, you can go to one of my many websites. One of those is zannacoffee.com. zannacoffee.com. Great organic coffee. That, by the way, you can have 3 different blends. Route 66 coffee, and then you have also 1776 and straight shot espresso. Now, more sponsors you can find out also on lovegunsfreedom.com. Now, believe it or not, I need to switch to my next drink is going to be ginger brew, triple ginger brew, non-alcoholic. This is completely good stuff from Trader Joe's. By the way, it's not a sponsor. Now, don't forget, I have the new book. Believe it or not, I can write. Not only I speak with an accent, but I also can write. It's called Lyrics and Poems by Luca-Zanna. You can go on Amazon.com. Also, you can go to zanna.us. Zanna.us. Now, we are ready for the next break, and after we'll see you in hour number 2. Okay? Here we go.
This is the Tri-State's original local talk station, KTOX, Needles, Bullhead City, Mojave Valley, Laughlin.
A deadly California bus crash, fighting ISIS for Mosul. I'm Ann Cates. The California Highway Patrol and federal transportation experts are investigating after a tour bus crashed into a tractor trailer just north of Palm Springs, killing 13 and injuring 31. Correspondent Kyung Law.
At this point, they still do not have a cause. The CHP and the NTSB are both going to be investigating. We do know that this 1996 passenger bus was inspected every single year, last in April 2016, and it does not appear that there was anything unsatisfactory about those inspections.
Kurdish forces are closing in on the Iraqi city of Mosul as the battle to drive out ISIS continues. Correspondent Nick Payton-Walsh.
I know a lot of ISIS are still holding out there. A lot of towns have been pushed around or partially cleared, but there's tunnel complexes, mines that are really going to make things hard for refugees coming out, but also the continual resupply of security services inside those areas.
S&P futures up 3, the NASDAQ futures up 6. I'm Ann Cates. AT&T is buying Time Warner as part of an $85 billion deal that could shake up the media landscape. Correspondent Christina Alessi reports the Senate Subcommittee on Antitrust has issued a statement on the merger.
We've carefully examined the consolidation in the cable and video content industries to ensure that it does not harm consumers. An acquisition of Time Warner by AT&T would potentially raise significant antitrust issues, which the subcommittee would carefully examine.
The price of gasoline is inching lower, down a few pennies to a national average of $2.25 a gallon for regular. Industry analyst Toby Lundberg says the decline is circumstantial.
Ironically, it's not because of crude oil prices, which are the dominant mover in gasoline prices. Crude oil prices are up, but refiners have not had a chance to pass those through into the gasoline market.
The most expensive gasoline in the country is in San Francisco, where motorists pay $2.78 a gallon. The cheapest is in Tulsa. I'm Ann Cates.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-613-6574. That's 1-800-613-6574. 1-800-613-6574. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health issuing company and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short, and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee.
Now the KTOX 1340 AM Tri-State weather. It's clear and 71. Wind is light and variable from the north. Today, clear with a high in the mid-90s. Tonight, partly cloudy with the low in the low 70s. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with the high in the upper 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with the low in the upper 60s. That's your Tri-State weather on KTOX 1340.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on United States .fm network.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. Second hour, the hour about guns. But today, as I said, it's going to be, of course, a little crazy hour. I'm live here from the station. And one thing normally I'm not able to do when I produce my show on the other side of the river, in Arizona, where I live, I don't really do live calls. Today we can. So that's beautiful. I'd like to hear from you. I said before, it's only one rule. There is not many rules here. We do not screen the calls. We do not hang up on you if I don't like your voice. I don't even care if you want to say bad stuff about me. I don't. All I ask is one thing, though. We have to obey to FCC rules because we are on the air. So if you call, please, you keep your language family-oriented. So do not use any word that could be, let's say, censored by FCC. That's pretty much the only rule. And second thing, if you want to say criticism, that's fine. I welcome it. Just try to articulate, okay? No name callings without any type of reason, if you can. That's it. And, of course, let's talk about guns now, okay? I don't want to hear about stuff like the weather or other things like, I don't know, football, okay? All right. Now, first of all, is Ronald around? Ronald, are you still with me? Ronald O'Donnell.
I'm enjoying the show, and I'm here. If anybody wants to talk to me, I'm sitting here listening.
Very good. And by the way, I would like to remind this. I gave the chance also to the competition, to the opponent of Mr. Ronald O'Donnell, who's running for the same position, California State Senate. Which district, Ronald, please? Remind us your district.
Well, we're San Bernardino County and Riverside County in a very, very small fragment of L.A. County. And we basically are the counties that abut the Colorado River.
Okay. So you're running again. And let's say the name. I have no problems. Honestly, I like to hear the name. What is the name of your opponent in the Republican Party?
His name is Mike Morrell.
Okay.
He is a lifelong candidate, and he spent his whole entire, career running for office.
Okay.
He's one of them.
The professional politician. That's what he's about. Okay.
He's a Republican professional. And the banks funded him $350 million. $1,000.
Wow. So let's remind 1 second the story here. How much do you have in your official campaign budget, campaign treasure chest, war chest?
I started with $500. I'm nickeling that down, by the day here.
So that's it? You got under 500 now?
I don't know. Maybe
Okay. So you still, what you did during the primaries when you defeated your opponent in the Democratic Party is still amazing. You with the same $500, you really did great job. Now let's see if really we're going to have this battle against, David against Goliath. It's going to be amazing. As I said, regardless, I'm proud of you because you're trying. And I would like to say to the opponent, please, you're welcome to be on the show. I will give you the same time that I gave to, of course, today, to Ronald. So I'll be happy to have you both. Now, we're talking about the second hour, it's about guns. And we were talking about, of course, the right of an individual, even in California, to own, not just to own, but to carry also that gun. Because it's not just to have the gun and leave it at the house, okay? The right of the people to keep and bear arms, even an immigrant like myself can get it, okay? Keeping and bearing arms means that I can bear it with me. Because if the gun is at the house, I don't need it there. I need it with me. I need it with me in the car, in the truck. I need it with me at the post office. I need it with me at the restaurant. And, of course, training, it's very important. I believe that the first thing we should be reminded, the general law, we have right until we infringe on somebody else's rights. So, for example, I want to be very fair. I am the first, the most critic of people, gun owners, who give the bad name to the rest of the gun owners. Because the first thing, yes, you have that right. But you do not have the right to be an arrogant, irresponsible person. Because, as I said, you are responsible as a gun owner for every round, every bullet getting out of the barrel. Not just to yourself, but also towards others. Even I don't believe that's supposed to be, my opinion, mandatory anything, because after all, they always can find a way, of course, this is my opinion, always they find a way to somehow legislate and put rules and regulations, and also, of course, fees, because, they can put fees, $1,000 class you must go through. Not everybody can afford $1,000 class. But at the same time, I believe, yes, you're supposed to be a proficient and safe gun owner. Because otherwise, you're going to be a liability to others. And I give you this news, Ronald. Let me read it to you. This is from Kingman, okay? A very highly, let's say, conservative area, at least Republican. I don't want to call conservative because they are not conservative at all. They spend more money in the city of Kingman than I think in California probably. But when it comes down to guns, there is a very high percentage of gun owners. And of course, what I like about Arizona, we have the constitutional carry. That means we do not need to have any type of special permit or license to conceal a weapon. As a law-abiding person, we can buy the gun through the shop with a background check, FFL license, the typical standard procedure, or you can buy also privately. That's great. But also, I would like to say, you can have the gun without any type of training. Now, I'm the first one to say we should train. I say should means it's my moral responsibility. I'm always looking for more training. It's my duty. At the same time, I don't think, government should set the rules just because you have a gun, how many hours or how many schools, because otherwise it could be also there a loop. They can control you. But let me tell you the arrogance of this story. This is from the Kingman Daily Miner. A man was hospitalized due to a firearm mishap Monday night. There wasn't a mishap. That's called negligence, okay? Mahomet County Sheriff's deputies responded to a residence in the 1300 block of East Avenue about 7 p.m. when they found Mr. Jamie Patterson, 67, of Kingman, that accidentally shot himself in the calf. There is no accident, and I tell you why. Investigation determined that apparently Mr. Patterson was sitting on the couch, loading and unloading his .25 caliber pistol when a bullet got stuck in the chamber and the gun went off. No, the gun doesn't go off by its own. Let me tell you something. It is not like a magic voodoo or out of the blue, the night of the zombie and the body starts to get out from the tombs. No. The gun goes off, only if somebody squeezes that trigger. Simple as that. So my point is this, thank God this man didn't have, any type of more dangerous injuries. He was just shot in the calves. But more important, he didn't hit anybody else. But let me give you just a refresher, and as I said, I'm not here to preach. I'm not here as an instructor because I am not. I'm just what I call myself a diligent professional student. That's what I am, okay? The moment that I decided that I want to carry every day, I'm here in America, in the state of Arizona. Since I moved here 12 years ago almost, I always carry my handgun on me and a rifle in the truck. But since I made that decision, I always wanted to thrive, to achieve better training. Because it's not just to be great at the show, at the range. No, this is about for being responsible, to be also not a liability towards others. So let me tell you exactly how many basic rules, in my opinion, according also to the industry standard, this gun owner completely disobey. First of all, every time you handle a gun, we should always start with a chamber check. Because you just remove the magazine, oh, you think the gun is empty. Guess what? May be around in the chamber. So no matter if somebody hands you a gun and somebody, hey, I already checked it, don't care. You must, it's your responsibility to check the chamber. Because I've seen many, many times that the people that were handling a gun and they thought the gun was empty, but they forgot the round in the chamber. If you do not do like almost, some people I like to pray before I have lunch or dinner or whatever, you must do your prayer before you eat. You don't have to do it, of course, if you don't believe it, but that's not the story. The point, you check your chamber before you handle a gun. Number one, so he did not check the chamber. He forgot the round in the chamber. Number two, one of the most important basic safety rule, never muzzle anybody or anything unless you want to destroy it. So even, let's say, this is so sad. I go to gun shows, and I go sometimes to, let's say, for example, to gun shops, and I see this gun going around with this barrel, the muzzle of the barrel, pointing at everybody. I really freak out. I don't care. There is even a flag. I don't even do that with a plastic gun. I don't even like to muzzle a toy gun. For me, a gun is something very important. It is not a toy. But anyway, the point is, what he broke, another law, this guy, he muzzled the gun, a part of his body. Think about it, if he just obeyed this law, this rule, he would have not shot his calf. Number three, never put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot at your own target. How many times you see people that they like to touch the gun and they have the finger on the trigger? No, that's completely another thing that can be avoided. So, think about 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to break all the 4 rules. So that's why I really believe it is our, moral duty and also legal. I tell you, you're responsible legal, civilly and criminally. If you commit a mistake like that, that's not a mistake. It is a negligence. So yes, I think really we should have education, like they do education at school. Let's give gun education. Let's try to incentive, people to be good citizen and responsible citizen. That would be a good way. I would like to see my property taxes, at least at work. Let's give some good gun safety, and also, of course, gun marksmanship at school, and I will feel better to pay these damn property taxes that they're an extortion. Ronald, I give you the floor. Let me drink.
Well, the gun extortion goes and extends all the way to California in the referendums that are right now before the voters here in California, which is all anti-gun. It's just pathetic. And what's really the problem is the Democratic Party is 100% against, guns in the hands of citizens. Now me, here we go again. I'm against that. Because, my whole position has been take the guns away from the criminals and the drug cartels and just hand them to people that are just average American citizens that, okay, if you require training, I'm all in agreement with that. But they would have the right to go ahead and carry and bear arms in meetings like the meeting where 36 people were shot, 24 were murdered. The others were severely injured because they didn't have the right to bear arms. They were not even allowed to go ahead and think about it. We need to stop the mind control set in this state regarding gun control. And it's on the ballot this time, and it's going to pass. You'll have a military state in this state. And even the military doesn't want it in this state. They need help. The only people that will have a weapon in this state after this election, if it continues, are the criminals, because, of course, they don't follow laws anyway, right?
Yeah, and also not just the criminals, Ronald, also the politicians. There was a law just passed recently in the state that shows exactly that we have two sets of laws. The laws for the slaves, the citizens, the taxpayers, and the laws for the elites, in this case, the politicians. So all the latest gun restrictions, let's say all this sort of gun regulations, completely gun control laws that Mr. Governor Brown just signed, do not apply to the politicians in Sacramento. Did you know about that? There was a specific caveat of the law. I mean, they do not have to obey to all these restrictions. Are you aware of that?
Well, they're the elite, and I'm not.
I know, I understand, but my point, think about that. This is they put it down in writing, in law. That's so unbelievable. So, and I know you're different.
I'm afraid to say how I really feel, but I'm going to say it now that I finished off that.
Mm-hmm.
They are the people we're talking about. They are the mob. They are the criminals, and they are the drug cartels. Hello.
Yes.
No wonder they want to take arms away from us. It makes it much easier to rape, rob, and steal with authority.
Yes. So they can take you home, even if they don't have any type of legal right to do it. They can pretty much force you also into submission if you don't want a vaccine, and your son doesn't want a vaccine. We have another caller, Denise? Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon, Luca.
Hey, Greg, how are you, my friend? Where are you calling from, Kingman?
No, this is Charlie. I'm calling from Topak.
Okay, good to see you. Good to talk to you.
I wanted to call and congratulate you on your third anniversary, and I hope you keep up the good work. I have a terrible time trying to send emails from where I'm at because I'm in a hole, and I have to either climb out or go to a place that has Wi-Fi. But I am an instructor, and the number one rule is you treat every gun as if it is loaded, always, unless the thing is disassembled. One time I taught at a Boy Scout camp outside of Flagstaff, and I had to go to Flagstaff to get supplies sometimes. And we were in a laundromat doing some laundry, and one of my friends that he was in the EMT and taught a course there. He had his firearm on in his holster on his belt. And the girl there was talking to her boyfriend, and somehow he got the impression that somebody was waving a gun around. Of course, a whole bunch of cops showed up, and we're sitting in the parking lot, and I saw one pull in, and then another one, and I told my friend, I said, we're going to get roasted. And sure enough. And so they looked at everything this guy had, and since we were in the woods for 4 weeks, he had his guns locked in a chest in the back of his blazer. And this cop had this pistol that he had just gotten for his birthday, and he's swinging this thing around, and I kept dodging and stuff. The guy goes, "Oh, don't worry, it's not loaded." And I said, "I don't care. Don't point that at me."
Mm-hmm.
This was a cop.
Yes.
And so it's you have to remember that if it is, unless it's in pieces, the thing is, you consider it as being loaded. And if you do that and keep your finger off the trigger, nobody is going to get hurt.
Exactly.
They keep putting these PSAs on, to make people feel good,
Mm-hmm.
Lock up everything and whatnot. But how many times, do you hear about people, accidentally shooting somebody else? Or, it happens, but not very often. But they try and make it sound like it's an epidemic, just like Zika. How many times have you heard about Zika lately?
Oh, yeah. And by the way, we know very well that also was created in the lab, and there is part of the Rockefeller Foundation behind. They own the patent. And also about the Zika in Florida, state of Florida. I got my brother is there. The governor's wife, they found that she has a direct interest in all this aerospraying for eradicating the mosquitoes that they're supposed to have the Zika. So they make money, and meanwhile, when the cities like Florida, like, what is the name? Not Tampa, Miami, the mayor started to complain because, you're destroying not just the tourism and the economy, also you're spraying our citizens without any type of logic, giving a bunch of only God knows what type of pesticides to eradicate some flies. Yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, the governor declared state of emergency, or at least, declare some sort of a martial law. And in Florida, everybody must comply with whatever the governor says. So it's part of the scam. Listen, you're an instructor. Do you teach where? Privately, or you have any type of range where you go to teach?
Well, no, I privately, except for the 2 years I taught at the Boy Scout camp, and actually I found teaching 12-year-olds that had never handled a firearm to be way easier than teaching adults.
Yes.
Because they didn't have ingrained bad habits.
And also the ego.
One that they had, that it was don't get me wrong, it was very stressful. These kids had the bad habit of when you speak to them, they'd turn around and have the firearm in their hands, and they'd be pointing it at you, and had to break them with that. Now we taught. It was like a rule for a rifle. We used a single shot 22s. Okay, but I made everybody that took my class, they all had to shoot the 12 gauge at a water jug that I'd fill up and hang out where the targets were, just so they would understand. Because shooting into 22 is almost like a BB gun,
Yeah.
And I wanted them to understand that, hey, that 22 does the same thing as that shotgun. And by the time I was halfway down the line, these kids were going, "Oh, I don't want to do that." And it's like, "Do you want to pass?"
Yeah.
So, and one other thing is, I hate it when they call the Bill of Rights. They talk about amendments, because there are a lot of amendments, and people go, "Oh, well, we need to change this amendment." No, the Bill of Rights is sacrosanct. It was the price that the states demanded to sign the Constitution, and the first 10 cannot be changed.
I completely agree with you, because the point is the Bill of Rights and the Constitution doesn't give us any rights. It just reminds the government that we have rights. They come directly from God, if you believe in God, or they're completely inherent in your humanity. The moment that you are born, you have those rights. Government, after all, is created by us.
That's right. That's right. Well, like I said, I wanted to congratulate you.
Thank you.
I promote your show. I get on a lot of nationally syndicated shows, and especially your interview with Mr. Kokesh.
Very good. I appreciate it.
To mention your show. Trust me, I'm not a sycophant, but I believe in what you're doing. I support it. And hopefully I can get my email thing sorted out, because I would like to discuss issues with you.
Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We have another caller on the air. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Luca, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Thank you. What's your name?
Yeah, Luca, this is Neil over here in Golden Shores.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
I'm just fine, buddy. On your subject of guns, probably about 15 years ago, I lived here in Golden Shores. I had a girlfriend move in me with 4 small children. Her youngest was 3 years old. Her oldest was 7 years old. And probably at least once a month, I would go out here in the desert outside of the town here, and I'd probably once a month shoot off anywhere between 500 and 800 rounds. Between my 9mm and my .45 auto. And I would take my barbecue and my girlfriend and the 4 kids, and I taught these kids about guns. Because I didn't lock my guns up. My guns were in my nightstand drawer. All those kids knew where my guns were. They knew where they were loaded, and they weren't curious about my guns, because when I went out in the desert shooting,
even if I only put one round in at a time, and stood behind them and held their hands, I let them at least feel what that gun felt like when it went off.
Mhm.
So they weren't curious. They knew about them. They knew that it could kill you. So I never had to worry about those kids messing with them, because it's not that like I had guns in the house and they didn't know it, and then they'd find them and they were curious. They knew what those were.
Yes, no, I think
Absolutely knew.
it starts with us, the family, the father, the mother too. That's why I had, for example, let's say last Sunday, I guess, this other lady on the show with me, because I believe the woman has a very important role to educate not just the children of the family, but also our next generation. The father, of course, is the person that's going to be probably the role model. But at the end of the day, remember, the wife is going to be mostly, probably, hopefully, the person that's going to take care of the kids while the husband is going out working, or at least, that's normally what used to happen in a regular family. So she spends more time than the man with the kids. So I think it's very important for two reasons. First of all, for self-defense. If the husband is out working and the woman is alone at home, or even just at the parking lot shopping, she better has, in my opinion, a gun. She knows how to use it to defend the family, the kids, and herself. And number two, it's good to see that the gun culture doesn't just apply to the guys, but it's an American tradition. It's also our right. And I think the woman can be a very important role to also learning and sharing these skills.
Yes, and when she first moved into me, not only did I take the curiosity out of the children's mind,
Mm-hmm.
she went out and I taught her how to shoot. And back then, you had to have a concealed weapons permit.
Yes.
And I gave her the money, and she went down and she got her concealed weapons permit. And every time she went to Walmart, wherever she went, she had a loaded gun in her purse. And,
Yes.
and the stuff about telling everybody to lock your guns up if you're not using them, so nobody can get to them. How many times over the last 2 or 3 years, Luca, on the news have you heard about some young teenager
Mm-hmm.
being home alone and somebody broke in the house, and because they knew where the guns were at in the house and they were able to get to them quickly, they were able to shoot and kill the intruder and save their own life.
Yes, and I agree with you. There is also another important thing, not just for the kids, but also for the adults. Think about it. Now, there are some states that try to pass laws that if you are home, like I think in San Francisco, they just passed a city ordinance, your gun must be locked. So the point is, the safest place, in my opinion, that where you can have your gun, especially if you are in the house, it is on you, on your holster at 3 o'clock, or whatever other position you like. Because at the end of the day, people feel very secure. It's a false sense of security. You are in the house, you think my door is locked, I'm going to be fine. Guess what? Unless you live in a house with a little bit more sophisticated, let's say, safety system, the average American home made of drywall, made of frames that you can pretty much, with one kick, I can open your door. Your average American door, I can open it with one kick. And I'm not an expert, I'm a regular guy. But you can see that the frame is made of plywood, okay? Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So the point is you have between 5 to 6 seconds, if you're lucky. If you're close to the main door, you have even less. If somebody is really dedicated to having home invasion, can be in your face in less than 6 seconds. So the time that you react, you're shocked, and you start to have a plan, your gun probably is in the safe that normally you must put it because the state says so. You're not going to have a chance to get your gun. So the best on top, remember, if you have it on you, nobody's going to touch it. Okay, that's the bottom line. Beside yourself. So I really believe it would be a good, especially for the Californian people, that, your home, you still can have a gun in your home. Don't have it in the safe, in my opinion. Have it on you, of course, always with the training. Because if there is an home invasion, it takes you less than 2 seconds or 1 second for me to reach my gun and deliver whatever I need to do. But if you have it in your safe, it's going to be almost not good. That's the bottom line. Listen, I appreciate your call, okay? Thank you very much.
All right, Luca, bye-bye.
Thank you. That's good. I like to talk to people that normally I cannot talk. I really appreciate it. And I want to remind you the phone number out there. This is a kind of a unique day. Normally, I broadcast from Arizona, and I don't really go live. I produce the show during the week. So today is a great opportunity to know each other. Phone number, 855-586-9134. Now, this is the hour about guns, the second hour. I promise, and I will, of course, comply with my promise, to talk today about something very important that is beyond guns. Talking about infiltrators, or at least a person that used to be a very good friend to me, that we just found out that is an FBI informant, according to official documents from the trial in Oregon against the Bundys. And I will talk about this between this hour and the final hour. So do not go away, because now, meanwhile, I keep accepting calls. Come on, caller, go ahead.
Oh, is that me, Luca?
It's you. What's your name?
Yes, my name's Ken. Yeah, everybody knows who I am. But anyway, my son lives in Houston, Texas, and just 3 weeks ago he had a break-in. He has concealed weapons permit, has one in his car and one in his safe in the house, and two guys broke in his house while he was there, and his gun was in the safe and the other gun was in the car.
Wow.
Now, how do you like that?
So how ended up?
Didn't have a chance to get to either one of them.
Yeah, that's sad.
But, he broke them up and they took off. Yeah, and the police haven't done a thing about it yet. They can't do anything. He hurt one of them real bad. He knocked him into a plate glass window, or mirror, but the other one got away.
That's exactly the point. When the criminals and evil people try to attack you, they have always the edge of surprise most of the time, unless you are aware. And the point is, unless the gun is on you, you already starting from a very disadvantaged point. That's the reality. So,
right.
We need to always carry, in my opinion.
Right, and he's 300 pounds. He ain't no little boy.
Yeah.
And he still couldn't do anything.
No, exactly.
So, but I just wanted to tell you that, and having a good show. And thank you very much. I'll talk to you later. All right.
Thank
you.
you.
I'm from Bullhead.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.
This is such a joy for me. I tell you, this show is not just about guns and freedom. It's about love. And one real way that I really appreciate it's the opportunity to interact with you. And I said, sometimes I enjoy, especially also when I have people that I disagree, because the idea is that we can learn from each other. I do not know everything. I have proved it to you before. 3 years ago when I started this show, if somebody like Ronald O'Donnell would approach me just because they call himself a Democrat, I would have thrown up. Then when you start to realize that there are people behind these labels, they create these labels to divide us, to separate us. At the end of the day, if there is a good man, if there is a good woman, it will go beyond the party line and will stick to the truth. It will stick to good. That's my bottom line. And, of course, we go. Another caller, go ahead.
We gotta be Americans first.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's see another caller.
Hello.
Hello, hi. Who's calling there?
Hello. Is this me?
That's you. And here it's me.
Okay. Hey. Hello. My new Italian friend. This is Paul from Fort Mojave.
Okay, Paul. Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm well. I had a long work week. Hey, Kenny, tell Kenny and Mark they did a good job on the game, but from KTOX. Anyway, first I want to say something, and then I have a question for you. It's still on the gun. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
First, when I was in high school in 1980, so 16, 17, 18, we go to high school. We have gun racks in our pickups, and we all had rifles, and we all had to go through hunting safety courses, and nobody got shot at schools. It was unacceptable. We all knew what they were, and we all had. And it's just different now.
Yep.
Now, my question for you is I work over in Laughlin. I live in Fort Mojave. So if I have a pistol with me, do I lay it on the dash? Do I have to put it in the trunk? When I cross the river?
Okay. Let me give you a premise, first of all. I am not here in position to give you any type of legal advice for many reasons, because, I'm just a regular guy like you are. But let me tell you what I would do if I were you. Okay? First of all, this is to tell you what I found out for myself. As I said, I'm not giving you advice, but I tell you what I do for myself. Do you have a CCW for the state of Arizona? Do you? Concealed permit.
Do I have an ID? Yes.
No, an ID. And a concealed permit, carry permit.
No, I'm new. Do I need one of those?
As I said, for the state of Arizona, we have constitutional carry. If you're a law-abiding person, you can conceal the gun even without permit. That's great. The moment, though, that you cross that river, okay, even if you go in the state of Nevada, things are different. So what I would do, in my opinion, I would contact the local police station. Okay, they have also a website, the Department of Justice for Nevada, whatever it is. But the best way, talk to your local police. Call them over the phone. Say, what are the rules? What are the laws? These are not rules; they are laws. And you explain exactly your situation. Okay. Because every state is different. For example, the state of Nevada a few years ago did not reciprocate, for example, the concealed permit that we have in Arizona. Right now, it is reciprocated, but can change any time. So you see how touchy it is. So you may have a gun with a concealed permit here in Arizona that last year, for example, is recognized, or now it's recognized, and next month they may change the law, and you go there, say you are the same person, you have your gun concealed, and guess what? You may find yourself with big troubles, and these can become felonies, or at least can give you a hard time in front of a judge. So be sure you know the laws. So the best way is to call, in my opinion, the local law enforcement in the state of Nevada, Laughlin. I'm sure they can answer to you, and they can give you the basic. There are websites, by the way, from the state of Nevada. They can tell you all the most important things. That's what I would do if I were you.
Well, thank you very much. I enjoy your show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, too.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. So that's very important, guys. These are not minor things. Not just because you are in Arizona and you think, I'm just crossing the river. Guess what? I crossed the river in California. I double-checked my truck 20 times, and I still forgot the magazines in the back. I had to come back home. You don't play with this stuff. Because I tell you, criminals, they may laugh at these things. They may carry an AK-47 full auto without any type of permit and still be having a great gay time. But if you're a law-abiding person and you have everything to lose, even just an extra, let's say, piece of metal, like a 30-round magazine, just by accident, with no crime, with no victims, they can ruin your life. Seriously, you don't want to become a felon for a stupid law like that. Ronald O'Donnell, are you still there? You sound like you're in the bathroom, or maybe you fell down off the chair. Are you still up?
I went to get another glass of wine.
I knew that. I was suspecting that. Speaking about wine.
Right now.
Very good. Speaking about wine. Very important.
I had a lady ask me a serious question.
Yes.
Because we're on the, the gun segment here.
Yes.
And she said her husband died and left her his service revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's in her home, and it's loaded. And her question was, okay, how does she unload it? Then, second question, she said, there's ammunition. It's a .38 Smith & Wesson. She read that on the side of the gun. I said, put it down. You don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Put it down.
Yes, I agree.
You don't know. If you don't know how to open it, it's simple to open. I said, I'm not going there.
No.
Just have someone that knows what they're doing.
I agree. And that's something I would like to say to everybody out there. It's so important what you brought up. If you don't know, this is not the time to learn the hard way. It's, this is not like you're trying to go on the bicycle. Okay, worst case scenario, I get a little abrasion on my knee, okay? Guns, even the simple thing, if you've never done it before, don't do it by yourself. As simple as that. Ask for help. I'm sure there are people at the range, at the gun range, and maybe somebody that can help you out. You can find a family member or a friend, but do not do it. Even as simple as unload it. By the way, it's not as simple, because I'm sure the basic, we were talking before, the basic safety rules. If nobody ever told you those rules, I'm sure the average person may break those rules many, many times without even knowing it. Like muzzling themselves, like maybe putting the finger on the trigger. I mean, can be very dangerous. Now, that's what I would do. I would get somebody, by the way, don't get just somebody. Get somebody who knows what he's talking, okay? Because
but I told her, put it down.
Yes.
She, put it down. Now she's an elderly citizen. Her husband was 30 years in not the military, I'm sorry, police department.
Mm-hmm.
Great lady. But she's going through his things and, his awards and all that. And she communicated with me and said, I'm listening to the show right now. And she said, I decided to go look at my husband's weapon. I said, wait a minute. Stop. because she doesn't even know how to. I said, you don't need to learn this on this show. What you need to do is listen to the show.
Yes.
This is not the time to go look at your husband's weapons.
What is the town that she lives close by? Maybe I have some friends there. Who is the closest town?
He's right here in San Bernardino,
Okay.
where I live. And in fact, her husband was on the Colton Police Department 35 years.
Wow.
Sergeant.
Well, listen,
I'm not going to say his name.
I should be coming around next time I go to California, hopefully not too soon. But if I come around soon enough, she can wait. If she's not that far from your home, I may stop by. Maybe I can help her out.
Yeah, because she, I said, look, not now. This isn't the time to be doing this.
Yeah.
You do it when someone's there with you that knows what the hell they're doing. And that's exactly what I told her.
And also another thing, I'm not an NRA fan because I have my political reasons why, but when it comes down to safety, they're really good. If you go to NRA website, just find out the official website, there are different instructors and also volunteers around the states. So what I would do, call the NRA website, say, hey, listen, I live in this area, and probably they can suggest you the closest gun range that they may have NRA instructors qualified to at least help you out. And normally, when you say that you're a widow, you're a woman, and maybe you're a senior, and also I would be surprised that somebody want to do it as an act of love, just come there and help you out, because I would do that.
I think maybe if there's a Colton police officer that would go over and talk to her, here's my number, and I'll introduce only a Colton police officer to her. 909-862-5789. That's my home phone number. My name is Ron O'Donnell. If there's a City of Colton police officer, her husband was a sergeant, retired, 35 years, and she needs a little assistance. She'd appreciate someone from the Colton Police Department to come over to her home and help her with what her husband left.
Yeah, and also, and it would be nice at least to start out to load and unload a gun. But that would be very nice. Maybe if this lady is looking for help to learn, especially now, maybe I think she's alone.
And I told her I am not authorized or trained, but I can get you somebody.
Yeah, there are many ways to do that, and I really appreciate somebody can help her out, because this is exactly the spirit of the show. We want to help each other, and the idea, that could be your mom, that could be your daughter, could be your sister.
Yeah, and she's sincere. She's very sincere. I said, don't play with that then, But, of course, when someone has just gone through losing a spouse and they're lost and they're alone, somebody from the Colton Police Department, you call me, I will, introduce you. I have her phone number right here. And I won't put it on the air for her own privacy.
Okay, very good. I appreciate it, Ron. That's great. Talking about guns for self-defense, I already talked about this in the past. You go to many gun shops, and they talk about, especially I listen. When I go there, I listen to my business, and I listen what they try to talk to customers. And normally when there is an elder lady or even a woman in general, they say, okay, this is your first gun. We suggest you a revolver. And I say yes or no. And I tell you why. For many reasons, simple reasons. First of all, you think the revolver is easier, and technically it is a little easier, but there are some drawback, some things that they are not exactly easier, especially when you don't have much strength in your hands, especially maybe you have arthritis, especially when probably you don't know how to perform, let's say, reloads. And I give you the don'ts of why I think maybe an elderly woman, an elderly woman, even just a woman in general, should not opt for a revolver as the first gun. First of all, the trigger. The average revolver, that comes in double single action. That means, the first time you squeeze the trigger, you're going to be in double action. And don't get too technical, but the idea is you're going to have a lot of pressure on the trigger. Mostly at least 8-9 pounds at least. Some even 10 pounds. And the average, let's say, semi-automatic, we go between 5-4 pounds, at least half. So what means that when you shoot the first round, even if you are at close distance, and you're shooting their revolver, just because you had to put so much pressure on that finger, the firing finger, on the trigger, unless you're super trained, you're going to realize that your gun is going to swivel left or right. Depends how, you put your finger. Because you have to apply too much pressure. So it's going to be very hard to deliver the first round, even the second round, unless you shoot in single action mode. So right there, we have a big problem. If you have a woman like, with arthritis, even a man, a revolver, in my opinion, it is not the best choice. Then, very important, normally in the average, snub revolver, you have about 5 rounds. A semi-automatic, especially if you go in, average, standard Glocks, I'm not trying to push the Glocks, but any type of double-stack magazines like the Glock, even if you get like, let's say, somehow, medium size, I'm not talking about subcompacts, like a Glock 19, you have at least 15 rounds, 3 times the round that you would have in a regular revolver. So think about that. Many people can reload revolvers very fast. So like they can reload, semi-automatic very fast. But maybe an 80 or a 70-year-old lady doesn't have that type of skills. So in my opinion, if I would suggest your gun, especially if you're a lady, I would go with a very simple semi-automatic, like the Glocks. I say like, because there are other guns similar to Glocks. They have the same functions. They do not have any external safety. And I tell you why I do not like external safety, because at the end of the day, the main safety, it's you. It's your finger, and the way you treat the gun, always loaded, like we were talking before, and always never pointing anything unless you want to destroy it. But the Glock is a very safe gun. They have internal safety. Even if you drop it, it's not going to shoot on its own. So, but at the same time, under stress, you're not going to forget that you had that safety on. That's very important, because I saw many times under stress, people try to squeeze the trigger, and bang, the gun doesn't go off because there is a safety. Now, before we go to our number 3, I need to start to introduce the topic. The topic is not about guns, but it's beyond guns. It's a topic about how we are facing in this time in America something very dangerous to our liberties, to our rights. We have government operatives. In this case, we want to call them infiltrators. You want to call them confidential sources, whatever you want to call them, that they are working to not just discredit this movement, but also to create, let's say, the crisis, or even to create the atmosphere to justify all this repression, all these, let's say, new laws, billions of dollars of fundings, and more important, many times, entrap. That's the situation. I met 8 years ago a gentleman. He came to me. Interesting. I was in a political meeting in Mojave County when I was still a Republican. There was a dinner. And in this room, not very, the crowd was kind of limited. There is this guy, a little older than me, who talks Italian. I said, wow, how funny. In Mojave County, we have another Italian-speaking guy. That's pretty amazing. And he's also into guns. And also he sounds like a patriot. So, wow, it's easy to start, socialize. The first time we start talking, the first 3 hours after, I already had the sensation, and that was my instinct, that something was wrong with this guy. But don't get me wrong, the guy was very polite, was funny, and we started to know each other very, very well. I want to talk about this guy today, and I also invited him on the show, by the way. And his name, at least on the internet, is John Killman. Why John Killman came out after 8 years later, and I'll tell you all the story, not because you need to know my story, but I'll tell you exactly how things happen, and how maybe we can defuse a situation like that. John Killman is the official FBI confidential source that took part of the Oregon standoff against the Bundys, and just a few days ago, there was exactly October the 17th, he testified in court that he works for the federal government. The problem is that, I have nothing with people that try to do their job when there is a crime they try to stop or repress. The problem is when you have somebody that, unfortunately, is doing the job that it is beyond justice. This is about, let's say, creating crime that do not exist. And more important, this is not just about the Oregon standoff and the bandits. This is about a bigger plan, in my opinion. And I'll tell you now with facts what I think about Mr. Kilman. And by the way, I am also a friend, between quotes, so much that I really, since the moment that I met him, we've been spending times. We went to shoot together. He bought a frontside membership from me, pasta time, range time. And I don't want to go into his private life because I always have a rule. Even if you are my enemy, I respect your family, and I draw the line there. So I don't go that place. But I know him very, very well. So much that we were texting the day after this article went out, and I invited him on the show. John Kilman on Love, Guns, and Freedom. And the guy is cool. He said, yeah, look, I like to come on the show. I have the text here in front of me. I need to ask first permission from my lawyers. And I said, okay, let me know. And I said also, John, by the way, his name is Fabio. And I read now the article after this segment here. Finally, it took you 8 years, almost 8 years to come out. I'm glad finally you came out. And he was laughing. And the point is, did you know about me? Of course I knew. I said probably since the first day I met you. And why you were friend with me? Tell you why. First of all, I always believe the proverb, keep your friends close and your enemy closer. And also I always believe that maybe there is something to learn from each other. And more important, I like to know what's going on. And one thing I want to tell you out there, guys. Today we're living in America that no matter what you do or don't do, they don't need an excuse anymore. We have National Defense Authorization Act of 2012. They can throw my butt in jail, not even in jail, in the dungeon, without due process, without even facing my accusers, without any type of, as I said, judge, lawyer, whatever, just because they don't like my face, just because they suspect me to be a terrorist. So they don't need evidence anymore. But whenever I go around in my life, or like in this show, everything I say, I can say in front of 1 million person. Every time I talk to somebody, I can say that in front of 1 million person, or to a jury, or to a judge. I always talk the way I am. That's the most important thing we should remember. Whenever you do something, think always you're doing in front of God, first of all. Okay, one day we're going to be judged, everybody. Even John Kilmer will be judged. And I'm not here to judge him because I'm just a regular guy. I like to hear his opinion. Of course, now it went dark after we were talking and we had all this text message. His Facebook page was brought down. His phone was disconnected. But I will tell you right now in the next segment the whole story, how I met John Kilman, and exactly what exactly he's been doing in the Oregon standoff. And I tell you also some other very important, my own opinions and conspiracy theory, because I believe really that John Kilman, like many other like him, that by the way is not even born here, supposedly he's from Switzerland. But another story was that, I'll tell you later, I really believe he's bigger than just an FBI informant. I really believe that he is part of a bigger plan of a takeover of America that we will face pretty soon. Now, ready for our number 3? You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Ready for our number 3. Don't go away. Here we go.
Tri-State's original local talk station, KTOX, Needles, Bullhead City, Mojave Valley, Laughlin.
A deadly tour bus crash. Gas prices head lower. I'm Ann Cates. A horrific accident near Palm Springs, California, after a tour bus returning from a casino slammed into a tractor trailer early this morning. Chief Jim Abley of the California Highway Patrol on what investigators have determined so far.
A 1996 MCI passenger bus transporting 44 passengers struck the rear of a Freightliner truck with a trailer in the number 3 lane. CHP and fire rescue personnel arrived within minutes, and triage was immediately established by fire rescue. Tragically, 13 people were killed, including the driver of the bus.
The price of gasoline has dropped to a national average of $2.25 a gallon for regular. Industry analyst Toby Lundberg says prices vary by market.
Tulsa is the low average right now in our survey, $1.95, and San Francisco is the high at $2.78.
Wall Street may be headed for a higher opening. S&P futures up 3, the Nasdaq futures up 5. I'm Ann Cates. Donald Trump continues to tell supporters that the election is rigged and that Hillary Clinton would have no chance of winning the presidential election without the media's help. Correspondent Jason Carroll reports from a Trump rally in Naples, Florida.
He told the crowd, he said, look, we have to turn this around. So for Trump, that is, in a sense, an admission that there's some ground they've got to make up here with this campaign.
President Obama, speaking to Hillary Clinton supporters in Las Vegas, says Republicans took too long to stop backing Trump as their candidate.
So, when you finally get him on tape bragging about actions that qualify as sexual assault and his poll numbers go down, suddenly that's a deal breaker. Well, what took you so long?
A new Associated Press analysis shows Clinton holds a big lead over Trump in states with a total of 213 electoral votes. And Clinton is also first in states that lean Democratic with 59 electoral votes. That gives Clinton a total of 272 votes, enough to win. I'm Ann Cates.
Geico presents a voicemail from your friend, Washing Machine.
Hi, it's Washing Machine. It's about, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. So, good news, bad news. First, I found your lost sock. Exciting. Also, I might have maybe flooded the whole basement. It's going to be pretty expensive. But hey, at least you got that sock.
Your washing machine won't pay for water damage. Luckily, one call to the Geico Insurance Agency makes it easy to switch and save on homeowners insurance.
Hi, I'm rapper, actor, model Lil Dicky, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about a pretty glaring issue within our society, and that's condom usage. Guys, I think we've gotten pretty laissez-faire about wearing condoms, and to be honest, I find it disgusting. People are having unprotected sex without even batting an eye. It's insane. It doesn't make one shred of sense to me. How can you even enjoy it? I'd be so stressed out the whole time. I won't bore you guys with the stats, but just know that STDs and unintended pregnancies are very real, and there's nothing better than peace of mind, and that's what a Trojan can provide you, the pleasure of protection. So be an adult and put a condom on.
In this world where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap. You deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com.
Now the KTOX 1340 AM Tri-State weather. It's clear and 71. Wind is light and variable from the north. Today, clear with a high in the mid-90s. Tonight, partly cloudy with the low in the low 70s. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with the high in the upper 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with the low in the upper 60s. That's your Tri-State weather on KTOX 1340.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on United States.FM network.
There we go. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. And today is a special day. As you know, it's live day. I am live here in the station. I crossed the enemy lines. I hate to say that because I love people from California too. I have a lot of great friends. But unfortunately, guys, sorry, your state is gone. But there is still hope. Guess why? And guess what? There are people like Ronald O'Donnell running for office. That is going to break down every type of, they try to put us in this sort of a cages. Oh, you are a Democrat, you must be that. You're a Republican, you must do that. No. We are Americans. We have rights. We're going to fight to take them back. And the best way you can fight, to do it in a peaceful way, is to be involved politically. That's why I believe we got to get involved. This is, politics is not just an abstract concept. Sometimes I remember when I was a young, little stupid, I don't want to get involved in politics. First of all, that's not my case. I always wanted to be free. And the moment that you want to be free, you want to do what you want to do, you want to take care of your body, you want to, be a human being. You're already doing politics because that's what it's about. Think about it. Now, a state can have ownership over your children, can tell you how many vaccines your children must have. Is that freedom? No, that's politics because you're not getting involved. You're going to allow criminal crooks dressed with a suit to become politicians. They work for probably these pharmaceutical companies, and they will sell you down the river, and they don't care. That's the bottom line. That's why we got to get involved. Politics, it is not a bad word. It is the way we're going to defend our life and our freedom against evil, from my opinion. In this dimension, we are planet Earth. So that's the reality. So, Ronald, are you still around? I think I lost him. Ronald, in case you want to call back, you're welcome. Okay, meanwhile, I'm going to continue with the hour. This is the hour about love. Today is a little different from my average format on my radio show. Normally, I have 3 specific hours, 3 specific topics. Today, first of all, I invite everybody to be here with me on the air. You can bring every topic you want, always connected, of course, related to the show, okay? As I said, don't talk about Kardashian or football because this is not the place. If you want to call live, I give you the phone number, 855-586-9134, okay? My name is luca-zanna, and this is my 3-year anniversary on the air. Believe it or not, I'm still here. Can't believe it. Now, I was talking about, during the second hour, about Mr. John Kilman, an official FBI informant who came out officially during the trial of the Oregon standoff with the Bundys. And I'm not going to remind you the whole story. You probably already know. Now, this is kind of personal because this is not just, I'm not just reading the news, okay? This is something that came into my life, this person, almost 8 years ago. Not by accident, trust me. Nothing happens by accident. So I was saying before, I had this public meeting. I met this guy, little older than me, former military guy, loves guns, gun freak, more than I am probably. Speaks very well Italian, even with an accent. He speaks French, speaks German, and of course speaks English. Comes to me, says, yeah, I want to meet you, I love you, let's go shoot together, blah, blah, blah. I start to get friends. But the first day I met him, my instincts told me, Luca, this person is not what he's telling me he is. And I say, how can you find out that? First of all, we are animals, even we are human beings, we have an animal instinct. The problem that many times we suppress that instinct. We want to believe that everything is peachy, everything is bad, everybody's nice. No, there is evil out there. And I'm not saying that Fabio is evil, but let me put it this way. He's not what he told me he was. And I knew it since day one. But then he started to become closer and closer. I started to try to know more about him. And there were things that didn't make sense. The guy supposedly worked with special forces. But in which army? Really, it wasn't clear. Supposedly worked for the CIA in Europe. Interesting. You cannot really be an agent unless you were born here, but maybe you can be an operative. There are different ways, but still something didn't add up. But the point, regardless, as I said before, you keep your friends close and your enemy closer. We got closer and closer, so much that we did training together. We went to the range together. I also gave him a frontside membership. By the way, they threw him out. Hard to believe. The first person I heard that he was thrown out of frontside. But, still, I always try to figure it out who really was John Kilman or even Fabio. So much that we, as I said, I'm not going to his personal life because I respect the privacy of his family. Even if it's an American family, it's still a family. I don't care where you're from. I never mix a family with business. But the point is, I know pretty well his family. So much that, his son was named after me. Think about how close we are. So after I read this article that I invite everybody to read, so I don't want to read this on the air for you. You can get it on, just go on Google and put, for example, who is John Kilman, and there is an article on the Oregon Live. So the story short is that during this Oregon standoff with the bandits and all the other people that went there, tried to occupy peacefully because anyway, nobody got hurt, this wildlife refuge in the middle of nowhere, there was this very interesting character that was called John Kilman, who went there and started to train in military-style training these guys. And most of these guys, by the way, they're like, really average folks, okay? I mean, you see them, they are kind of, I don't want to call them sometimes a little stupid, but they're regular guys. They're not military guys. They're not trying to take over anybody. They just occupy, like many, occupy Wall Street. You can occupy a bank. They occupy many other things. I mean, the same, who was the former DOJ, the black guy that used to work for Obama. I mean, they found him that when he was young, he was occupying banks or other stuff. So I'm not saying that's right, but the point is, nobody got hurt, nobody got killed. From there, to make him look like some sort of a terrorist, there is a long stretch. But the point is that during this trial, early in the day, Fabio Minoggio, this is directly from the article, a government informant who went by name John Kilman at the refuge, testified about his role in the occupation. And here he talks. I was asked to oversee the shooting range, Minoggio testified, though he did not specify who requested it to do that. He said that he taught firearm safety and proficient use of firearm. Minoggio said that he was on the refuge from January the 23rd till the 26th. The leaders of the occupation were arrested by Oregon State Police on January the 26th. So much that John Kilman, he wrote me exactly the day that when they got arrested, that he just left camp. And I said, wow, how did you make it to leave camp? You didn't get arrested. Oh, yeah, I got lucky. They just locked the gates behind me. I may have an accent, Fabio, but I do not have a ring on my nose. I knew always who you were. And the point is, I still, I have a side of you that I like. Don't get me wrong. I also like to have you on the show. So much that you text me that you wanted to be on my show. And I hope you're listening. I think you're listening, by the way. I know you're around, not that far from here. And I would give you a very fair shot to listen to your side. The only thing that, get disturbing out of this is not just about putting in prison for very absurd charges. We're talking about some people that are facing like 50, 20, 30 years with no crimes. I mean, if I rape a child, if I go to do a bank robbery, I wouldn't face the same charge. I would face much less. Here we are facing American people exercising the First Amendment, maybe doing something that I would have never done, but still, nobody got hurt, and they're facing like incredible number of years in prison, federal prison. So, Fabio, first of all, I would like to ask you, you know very well that these people, they are not criminals. Many of them, I guess, don't even have a record. They are family people, working men. They may have their own political convictions, but they never hurt anybody. So much there is one man that really breaks my heart. I don't know how you can go to sleep at night. That, it is, let me put it this way. It breaks my heart. I'm crying almost. Somebody died. Somebody was killed. He was killed on the highway. Lavoy Finicum. You remember that? A man was unarmed. He was driving in the middle of this state. It was the block point. I call it an ambush. And very sad thing, they shot him. And we watched the video. They shot him cold blood. Okay? So that's my point. So what can I say? How do you feel about that? That's something that disturbs me. And I would like to ask you questions. Do you think that was an improper action? If we really have due process, are we all innocent until proven guilty? Or we start to have American people getting shot the middle of the highway, like by pirates. So that's where I really start to have a little resentment if you took part, and you did, because, you also now finally, you came out public. And I'm glad finally things are on the open. As I said, I was waiting for that moment for many, many years. But as I said, we can be from the other side and still respect each other. And that's the story. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about what I really think Fabio or John Killman is. And maybe I'm wrong, but I really have my guts still telling me the same stuff, like it was telling me 8 years ago, that John Killman wasn't just a guy who loves guns and, come from another country and wants to become an American. I believe that he was part of a bigger operation that is beyond the, let's say, this FBI informant stuff. Now, I'd like to put maybe a little break, just a little song, just to have something going on. Denise, why don't you do me a favor? On this CD that I gave you, why don't you put track number 2, please? Give me liberty or give me death. And then I will tell you after this exactly what's going on in my opinion. Meanwhile, I want to remind you, please, go to zanna.us, www.zanna.us, and you can also find out my new ebook, Lyrics and Poems by luca-zanna, available on Amazon for just $2.99. The complete collection of all my songs and lyrics. Go ahead.
Or give me death. I'll fight till the end, till my last breath. Give me liberty, or give me death. I'll stand against tyranny, my soul will never rest.
There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, there is no retreat but in submission and slavery. We have petitioned, we have remonstrated, we have supplicated, we have prostrated. Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased as the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Give me liberty, or give me death. I'll fight till the end, till my last breath. Give me liberty, or give me death. I'll stand against tyranny, my soul will never rest. Give me liberty, or give me death. I'll trade my life for freedom, with no regrets.
It is natural to man to indulge in the illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth and listen to the song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I am willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst, and provide for it. Give me liberty or give me death!
Give me liberty or give me death. If I had to rewrite that song, I say, give me liberty. I don't want to go there. I don't want to die. That's the point. I like to be left alone, live in peace. That's the type of person I am. But yes, I don't want to be a slave. Now, I think we have a caller. Maybe it's John Kilmer. Let's see who is it. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Who is calling?
My name is Debbie.
Nice, Debbie.
Is this Ronald O'Donnell?
Ronald O'Donnell is lost in translation. It was with me till a few minutes ago. I'm sure he's listening. But this is luca-zanna, and I'm the host, and Ronald was with me till a few minutes ago. He may call back again. But go ahead, please.
Okay, I was just calling because I got this from him online, Ronald O'Donnell, and he said anything goes, and I noticed that he's foreclosure specialist, foreclosure ammunition. I'm 66, and I've been in a terrible state. I did well all my life, and the last few years I lost 2 properties out of my mom's trust that I didn't have to lose. It was a legal foreclosure from Wells Fargo Bank.
Mm-hmm.
and only one was in the note. And now I'm stuck in. The only way I'm saving my house in Northern California is, and I don't even know how to sum this up to be real effective. It's a horrible situation. I'm in bankruptcy. I'm living in someone's house. My house in Northern California is vacant, and I have it for sale, and it's, I'm basically homeless. I can't even afford the bankruptcy court. I listened to a realtor that I shouldn't have listened to. He had a lady that was living there making the place work, keeping the utilities on, the swimming pool going, and everything, money coming in. He had me have her move out.
Debbie, can I ask you something? Listen, I really, by the way, I'm really sad to hear this because you're not the only one. I heard more and more people coming every day, and I know.
I just thought that maybe I could get some help there.
No, and let me tell you what I would like to do. 1 second only. Let me do that if you don't mind. Next Sunday, I would like to have you as my guest, if you don't mind, because I would like to explain your story to other people. I'm sure you're not the only one. And maybe with the help of Ronald, we can get more information how to educate ourselves to try to find answers and solutions to this situation, because you're not the only one out there. Would you like to be next Sunday with me on the show?
Sure, I would, but I don't know. Sunday may be too late.
No,
I just don't know.
We'll try to record. We will record this week. I will do me a favor. Contact Ronald. Talk to Ronald and give her your phone number. Give him your phone number, and I will talk to you this week, and we'll try to record this show this week. Okay, before Sunday. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want my phone number?
No, give it to Ronald. I don't want it on the air. Give it to.
I don't know. How do I talk to Ronald? I don't know how to talk to Ronald.
Okay, let me do that. At this point, I think we're gonna do it. Write my email. Could you write my email down?
Well, I don't have your email.
Let me give it to you.
You want mine?
Let me let me give you my email, okay? Listen to me. Just go to my website. Go to my website so everybody can get the information. www.
Well, I don't have a pen.
Okay.
Hold on.
Get something going. And meanwhile, let me tell you this to the world, okay? So everybody can write it down. LoveGunsFreedom.com. I say again. LoveGunsFreedom.com. Okay? LoveGunsFreedom.com. And please, Ronald, if you're in touch with this lady, with Debbie, get a phone number, and next week, hopefully, we can have her on the show. Now, I would like to close up the situation about John Killman. The story is, right now, John Killman came out that is an official informant for the FBI. And as I said, I don't mind to think that somebody works for a legitimate action of government, try to stop evil. But when I know both sides of the story, I was there, at least not in Oregon, but I was there at the Bundys. I know exactly what type of people we have. And I see also, what is his name, John, or Fabio in this case, that who knows that these people, they are regular folks. They are farmers, seriously. And he started to mention, I'm trying to just stop the Timothy McVeigh. First of all, if you are an adult person, you know very well that Timothy McVeigh was just a plant, was just, by the way, a proxy. Even an immigrant like myself knows that the Oklahoma bombing, it wasn't from outside, but it was from inside. Just Google it. It was one of the biggest false flag we had in the 1990, okay? So that's the point. But more important, as I said before, what is more between me and you, Mr. John Killman? All these years that we spent together, what was business and what was real? Because we spent a lot of times, a lot of situations that could be also called controversial. Like, for example, we went to Flagstaff to do some training. It was medical training, but, not that I'm ashamed. As I said, I have no secrets. I can tell you exactly what I've done. No problems. It's our right to train. I train. It's my responsibility as an American to be ready. So we were doing medical training. And by the way, it's funny because in this medical training, John Killman was training how to do waterboarding. I found that suspicious. I mean, really, how to resist waterboarding, excuse me. Anyway, but the point was, I give you now my little conspiracy theory. Yes, right now we have FBI informants. That, by the way, is not the only one. There are 12 more, probably. In such an operation, there were a handful of people that supposedly, allegedly broke the law. We have almost 15 FBI informants, probably more informants than the alleged criminals. Think about that. Talking about entrapment, talking about trying to create a crisis out of nothing. And as I said, Mr. John Kilmer, how do you feel when you go to sleep at night knowing that somebody like Lavoy Finicum was called murdered? And this is not an opinion. You can see the video. Every American can watch the video out there with the drone. When they stopped the car, and he was coming out of the car, and they shot him in the front, in the back, like a pig. A slaughter. Was even a clean shot. So how do you feel about that, working for this type of people? By the way, there has always been around the last few months, even few years, let's say people have been witnessing United Nations trucks, armored vehicles around the states. You know, it's been dismissed many times with conspiracy. We're a bunch of nuts. After all, you know, we are in America. We're never going to be invaded. Guys, we are living right now in this time, 2016, after all the things we are witnessing, all this travesty of justice, all these crimes, the Hillary Clinton, corruption, they're coming out. Realize that we are living in a banana republic. Not because the other administration was better. No, they're working together. Don't get me wrong. But for sure now things are so blatantly in the open. We have somebody like Obama that is called the imperial dictator, the imperial president, signing executive orders after executive orders. That we have enough executive orders right now that the next president or this president can declare martial law for any reason. Could be an economic turmoil, could be whatever. There is now a next executive order just a few days ago about the weather from the sun, like EMP, solar storms. Could be anything. Now, we know very well that they want to implement this gun registration and eventually a gun confiscation. It's been pushed in the last 8 years so bad. And people say, laughing at some Democrats, oh, you see, you still have your guns. Of course, we've been fighting back. But the point is, the Obama administration, a few years ago, with the Secretary of State Kerry, signed the Gun Small Arms Treaty without even the ratification of the Senate. Think about it. We have right now a woman running for president. I don't know if she's a woman for real. I think she's more than a woman. But the point is that admittedly said, Second Amendment, it is not a right. And more important, she wants to have the same Australian model. Now, we have all these crimes in front of us that they are committing, and they know that sooner or later maybe they're going to have a reaction by the American people. Now, they need the help of an external force to execute not only their martial law, but also the new global government. Now, I tell you what I think about people like John Kilman and other people like him. By the way, I met another guy that he has another funny accent, and not because my accent is from British accent, but let's put it this way, I have an accent too. But I'm here, and I swore an oath to become an American, to defend this Constitution, this Republic. And I know that even John Kilman became an American recently, differently from what he told me. I know exactly when he became an American. And I know that he lied to me about that too. But how can you serve two masters? How can you become an American and defend its Constitution when you pretty much try to entrap people that they're trying to defend the Constitution? So anyway, but my point is, who are these people? Just FBI informants? Or maybe now there's something more? You know that not that long ago, this Obama administration completely submitted to the United Nations idea that we must have a United Nations police force. So much that 2 years ago, Obama, and it's a record, go find out, gave an executive order to give complete diplomatic immunity to the Interpol. People say, what is the Interpol? Interpol is like an international police. They are police that come from different nations. It's pretty much the global world police. Okay? New World Order police. That's what it is. They can come in your jurisdiction. They can come in your country and commit even crimes or at least do not obey to the due process that we have, regular law enforcement must comply to our Constitution, Bill of Rights, and have some rules. No. The United Nations, or this sort of called global police, can pretty much go anywhere in America and have complete immunity because Obama says so. Now we also have, and I give you the old pieces of puzzle, the Strong Cities Network. Okay, Strong Cities Network. Very important. Something to figure it out. Go Google it. Now we have somebody. What's going on, Dennis? We have a caller?
No, it's me, Zanna.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're back. By the way, Ronald, did you hear that lady that who called? She's a friend of yours somehow. I told her she wanted to talk about the illegal foreclosure. She's living in a very desperate situation. I told her to contact you next week and to send me an email. I would like to have her next week. We can talk about illegal foreclosure, maybe even more about her story. Now we're talking about this FBI informant, John Killman, and my little extra edge that I'm sharing with you, that I believe that John Killman is more than just an FBI informant. What I really believe here it's happening, they are already here. The last few years, there have been many John Killman around the states, especially in locations, strategic states like Arizona, maybe other north or southwest states where normally the gun culture is pretty strong. Why? If you remember what happened, maybe you don't need to remember because we weren't there, but if you study history, what happened in Norway during World War II, when Germany invaded Norway, they didn't have to fire a shot because 6 months, 8 months before the invasion, there were many John Killman completely, let's say, blending in with the population, going to Norway, creating families, or at least starting working, looking like regular people. When the day came of the invasion, these people already had all the gathered information, intelligence of who are the gun owners, where are the guns, where are the strategic points, everything that could be important to take over a country and to submit the population without even firing a shot. That's what happened in Norway. Now, we know very well that the FBI informant that I talked many times on the air about during the story with the Weather Underground, he told us in the 80s that these Weather Underground people, who are they? They are politicians, they are lawyers, they are professors, coming from the same university that Obama supposedly was from. And their plan was, once they are in politics, when they are in power, in the political power that we have now, look, people like Obama is in power now, guess what? They need to get part of the population that will not comply to their new global order, global socialism agenda, and stack them in camps. How can they do that? They need to have the support of foreign nations. And at this point, we know that we have Russia, we have China, Cuba now, supposedly Obama wants to give billions of dollars, and all they need to do is create a war that we're going to lose. Doesn't need to be a big war, but just the start of a war, and then we will have United Nations here on our soil. Like in Japan now, as an occupied territory, they still have American troops. So in Europe. So that's my point. Who is John Killman? I hope to be wrong. But I really believe that it's bigger than just to be an FBI informant. I think what he's been doing, like I met other like him in Arizona. As I said, there was this guy from Russia, supposedly, but supposedly is born in Montana. Very interesting. And disappearing. And they go out there, they meet the people that they need to meet. People like me, people like, I'm a small guy after all. They don't even need to meet me. They can listen to my show. They know who I am. But they go out all to the strategic places, gun shows, gun schools, gun ranges, meetings. And what do you think they do? They just go there to have fun? No. It's called gathering information. It's called preparing a list. That's what it's about. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just watch too many Jerichos at night. But what do you think, Ronald? What do you think about the story of John Killman?
Well, the reason I was off your show for 4 or 5 minutes was because a show in Washington just tuned in your show.
Mm-hmm.
It's live in Washington right now. whether you know it or not. And, the guy's name is Killer Davenport. And he has his own show, and he just, has you on it now. And I'm on it, okay? So he's taking the tape from this show now, and that's where I was for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm a Democrat voting for Trump.
Yes. And by the way, please give the information for the people who wants to support you, help you out in your district, how they can reach you out, and give your first and last name again, because especially in the area where you live, people can have a chance to vote for you if they want to.
Okay. Well, I'm in the area where 34 autistic school teachers were murdered by radicalized Islamic Muslim terrorists, if anybody remembered. 34 people were shot, 24 were murdered, the others were severely wounded, and they'll never be right for the rest of their lives, while they were celebrating a Christian Christmas party. And it's politically incorrect here, if you're a Democrat, to even make that comment, publicly. And that's one of the things I totally disagree with. And but it happens to be San Bernardino County, California State Senate District 23 that I'm running for. I won the primary because I was willing to discuss it against the Democratic Party endorsed candidate, what was his name, Mark Westwood, who ran on the mere fact that he was gay and he enjoyed anal sex. I didn't feel that was a qualifier to write the laws here in the state of California.
Well.
I believe that people that write laws in the state should know how to write a law and not just know how to, have male-to-male sex or those other issues that they seem to cloud us with. A little detail that we did mention on that show was yesterday, $1.8 billion. You'll see this on Monday in the Wall Street Journal, but you get it first here on the Love, Guns, and Freedom show. Hillary Clinton and her Clinton Foundation transferred $1.8 billion today to the country of Kuwait.
Interesting.
And that was through J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, who was acting as the agent in the transaction. It was found out through a reporting that they have to do with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on the news. You can only find this news on KTOX. This is a little town in California, Needles, California, where the owners of this station permit the truth to be put out by shows like Love, Guns, and Freedom, which I ask everybody to support. This is the third anniversary of freedom, of truth, of ability to communicate. I'm asking you to go. You can go to my political link, which is O'Donnell with the number 4, California.com. You can see where I stand. You can see why I am not voting for Hillary Clinton. I am voting for Kamala Harris as our Attorney General. She's a Democrat. In fact, I'm voting for every other Democrat. I have no problems with the other Democrats. The only single one, and the reason why my voice is being suppressed is because I refuse to vote for Hillary Clinton because she's a traitor to this country.
Listen, I said this before. I respect you a lot for this. Even as I said, I have no, party. But the point that finally I'm happy to see a Democrat who stands up, first of all, for the truth, and he stands up against criminal behavior. That's number one. Then we can have our differences of opinion on different things. But the point, you are integrity, at least to say, no, what is black is black, what is white is white, what is criminal is criminal. And we cannot allow that, I'm not a Trumpy. I don't think Trumpy has all the answer. But now we are facing between a professional crooks, criminals, with her and her husband, going back for an agenda that we know is not for the American people anyway. I mean, look all the documents that we have. This woman is for not only the NAFTA and CAFTA that her husband pushed, now the TPP, and all the double talking between Wall Street and the idiots out there. And as I said, also to the Democrats, talking about peace, okay? I was probably one of the...
Donald Trump asked her one question.
Yes.
Anna,
Go ahead.
and this is my third glass of wine.
Okay, stop there. Otherwise
But if I were Donald Trump, I'd say, Hillary,
Yes.
I'd say this Monday, I have a report right here that you took the Clinton Foundation money and moved it offshore
Mm-hmm.
to the Middle East, Qatar. Why would you do that? What the hell are you thinking?
Maybe she may do that. Maybe she may do. Maybe, maybe he may do that. I don't know. We will see.
Listen to the show.
Hopefully.
You know, I'm going to ask him to listen to this show. I'm
Okay.
going to email the hell out of the Trump campaign because they already have attention from me because I'm the only Democrat that's in the country that said I'm voting for Trump. The only one that's running for office in the United States of America that has come out and said, I am voting for Donald Trump.
That's why also I said I'm proud to call you my friend, even I never met you, because I really respect you for your integrity here. And that's what I'm saying. This is about no more to be a good party boy, but start to follow your heart, follow your soul, follow your consciousness. You know, I feel so disgusted, so much I had to write something, and I'm going to read it again. I posted on Facebook just last week. I have all these people that I met that when they were, you know, against Bush, against the war, and I proved myself I wasn't about party because I was a Republican at the time, and 10 years ago I was the first one to expose Bush, to call Bush who was, okay? A war criminal working for the New World Order. That's what he is. So his father. And all these idiots out there, oh, you're calling bad names our president. He's a conservative Christian. Say, you know, wake up, idiot. If an immigrant like myself can see it through, you should be able to see it too. Now, 10 years later, when they saw just a few days ago that the Bush family, the all pack, the all gang, officially endorsed, guess who? Hillary Clinton. You know, I'm sorry.
They all get their money from the Middle East.
Exactly. They're all together, okay? It's a club, and we're not part of it.
No, please. Anyone can check. I mean, my God, I've been saying it for 8 years, okay? And that's when I was looking at the Bushes, okay? You just take a very simple look at their partnership. Osama bin Laden was a partner with the Bushes.
Yes. You know, there was Arbusto Company. But right now, you know, what I'm trying to focus is this. We have these elections, okay? I don't care what party you are. But I say for all the Democrats out there, Ronald, listen to me 1 second, that they were trying to expose the criminal wars of Bush, okay? Now they know Obama, what is done the last 8 years. All the illegal wars. And the Hillary.
He let down the black population. He did nothing for inner city Chicago, where he's from.
Yeah.
There are more black people getting murdered in Chicago than in the Middle East today.
Yeah, and also don't forget what their agenda, what type of situation they're putting us in. We have almost World War III. We are in Syria that we have no business. We went to Algeria. We went to Egypt. We went to mind their business in Libya. I mean, this woman is a bloody, whatever name you want to call it. Now I can't do on the air. But the point is, how can you, as a Democrat out there, who probably was voting for Bernie Sanders, after you knew that you've been scammed, it was just a show. Yeah. Bernie Sanders was paid off, okay? And now and you knew that this woman anyway, she's everything against the principle that you believe. She's a corporate whore working for Wall Street and the bankers. How can you go in the right mind, go there and vote for her? I lose all the respect. That's why I wrote this. I'm going to read it briefly.
Hey, Santa.
Yes.
Third glass of wine, excuse me.
Go ahead.
But we're looking at a woman that has the Botox, the makeup, the good, appearance, and she stands up there acting like she's a teenager.
Yeah.
The woman is a 70-year-old woman that can barely walk to the car after an event, falls down either drunk or she doesn't have the strength to get to her.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Just Ronald, just 1 second. Bring me back, please, 1 second in. I want just to say one thing. You're right. And I want to just read 1 second this one to you. Because, I want to read this to all my Facebook friends out there. That normally in a normal world, I would have no problem. We can talk, even with our agree to disagree stuff. This is no more about agree to disagree, Ronald. If Hillary makes it, people like us, we're done. We may die. We may be killed because we're not going to bow down to their agenda.
Our children and our grandchildren are done.
Yes. And I'm very sorry about that. That's why I feel also sorry. But also for us, I don't think we're going to get that far. So listen, I want
we
to...
We don't have a choice. I just had people say, well, we're going to, up in Washington, and they're a very prominent group up there. We're going to vote for Joe Stein or, the other guy. And I said, then all you're doing is exactly the Clinton strategy, is to go ahead and take the vote away from Trump. And, you feel good when you're done. Oh, I didn't vote for Hillary. I voted for Jill. Or I didn't vote for Hillary. That's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Divert the vote away from Trump so that she gets in. She could care less.
Yeah. And one thing, I tell you something. Last elections, I am one of these guys. I could not vote for, what is name, the Mormon guy. Help me out. The Mormon guy. What is the Mormon guy? Romney. Okay? I couldn't. I didn't. Okay? But I'll tell you something. Right now, this is not about Trump. This is not about anymore. It's about that if we have Hillary for 4 months, forget about 4 years, 4 hours, this country is going to really go down to a level that we're never going to be able to recuperate anymore. And I'm not thinking that...
Wall Street Journal, even she knows it. She just put her money in Qatar.
Yeah, exactly. So my point is, I don't think...
$1.8 billion.
I don't think...
Why would she do that if she's going to be the president of the United States?
Because people out there, no matter all the evidence you bring, no matter all the emails, the classified documents, you can show them all the laws that she allegedly broke. And I say allegedly because, I still believe everybody deserves a trial. But unfortunately, she's never going to face a trial. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say here. She knows that the people out there, there are enough zombies out there, they don't care. They don't even understand what's going on. They don't want to understand it. So few of us, or at least, let's say, not few, we are millions, but still, they think they can suppress us. That's why I say, even I believe that Trump may not be the answer to everything, and maybe it can give us just an illusion to keep things still under control. We need more time. With Hillary, I think would crumble things we can go to from the level that we are already now to sub-zero in few months, maybe in few days. So we have no choice, in my opinion. And I said, normally I would say, yeah, we can vote for the third party. No, we cannot afford the mistake right now. If Hillary gets in, it's going to be worse than just bad politics. It's going to be having a criminal in the most, let's say, powerful office of the world that think how much power she's going to have. So we cannot face that. I think we need to do it. That's why I wanted to say this seriously to all the people out there. I don't care what you believe or not. We may have different party. I don't care. But I tell you something. I post this on Facebook, and I hope you can listen. And if this shoe fits, wear it without drama, please. We don't need to even talk to each other. If you vote for that war criminal, warmonger, liar, corporate, whore, New World Order B, anti-gun rights, pro-TPP, pro-forced vaccination, pro-GMO, traitor, that now should be facing trial for treason at least, called Hillary Rodham Clinton, I want to tell you that you will have the blood of innocent American people on your hands. Not just the American people. You will have blood of people from around the world. Think about these poor bastards in Syria right now, or in Libya. She's proud that she came, she saw, and he died. And, not because Gaddafi maybe was a saint, but guess what? Was much better than Clinton for sure. At least he was there minding his business with his own people. So, as I said, you have the right to be ignoring reality if you vote for Hillary. You can believe in whatever hypocrisy you want. But I do not care at this point. All I tell you what I care, that you have no business to be even my Facebook friend. Seriously. If you vote for Hillary, you are loading that gun that will murder people like me and other many people like me. I hope I'm not alone, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I know Ronald is next, or at least next to me, and many other millions of Americans will refuse to submit to a New World Order agenda, to a gun registration, gun confiscation, and any other executive order that this devil will completely fart out of her mouth. I'm a law-abiding person, Ronald, you know that.
America,
but I promise I will not...
I stand by the Second Amendment of the United States of America Constitution.
Yes.
Until that is changed by the United States of American Congress, it stands. And it is not a negotiable item.
Listen, I go further.
We have the right to bear arms, and damn it, we have them, and we're going to use them.
Let me tell you what I think. Government doesn't give me any rights. The Bill of Rights wasn't because of freedom to give us rights. It was to remind us, more important, remind to the government that we have rights before the government. It was enunciation of our rights. So at my point, and that's why I wanted to come to America, because in Italy we never had that opportunity. People here died and fought to give us this opportunity to be free human beings. We lost it, not because just because we didn't do anything. All we had to do was to stand the line. People before us has to die and fight for. We don't have to. All we have to do is to be Americans, start to get involved, and start to, of course, be politically involved. That's the first thing we should do. And that's why I tell you, though, if tomorrow they have enough numbers of corrupted government in Congress, they can tell us we have no more Second Amendment rights. All they need to think, hey, they can put now the Supreme Court new justices out there, and they can do whatever they want. That's not the case. Because we have, as human beings, we have the right, like we have the freedom of speech right. That's why our founding fathers fought and died to give us that document that all you had to do was to remember that we have rights before the government. So I go even a little more extreme in that area. I don't care what the government says. I have the Second Amendment right, period, as a human being.
I have a chance to say this to the California State Legislature if I'm elected, and I will carry this message right to Sacramento and hopefully across the nation if your people will vote for me. I'm asking your people, the listeners on this show, to take a 5-minute break and post O'Donnell for California to every zip code in California that is in San Bernardino County and Riverside counties here in the desert. And some of them have different skills than others, but just take my post and share it with your friends, with your family, because of course I have no money to do it. I can't afford the ads. I can't afford the campaign ads. Just share the message. That's why I appealed to you 3 years ago, Zanna, and you were the only one that would listen to me. And that is why today I'm on your 3rd-year anniversary show saying the very same message, the very same thing that we discussed 3 years ago. We have not deviated from that one iota. So I want to tell you in closing, God bless this United States of America. But before that, God bless God for giving us the United States of America. We are God first, country second, our United States of America country, if I have to remind you, and then we're a member of a political party.
You sound everything but a Democrat. Seriously, they must love you at your party meetings. Listen, I really appreciate your friendship. As I said, I respect you for everything you're doing, and no matter what happens, if you lose or win, doesn't matter. You already won in my book. You prove that regardless of what the majority out there try to tell you, you follow your soul, you follow your heart, and that's what I really respect. By the way, I want to remind everybody, this show, it's here because, of course, you are here, the listeners, but more important also because I'm here. And I tell you, it's an act of love. It takes a lot of energy and time. I have other things I do during my life. I'm not a big corporation. I'm just myself, luca-zanna, and I need your help, Normally, when I can, I get also sponsors, but sometimes it's very difficult to find sponsors that they want to give you the complete freedom of speech on every topic like we do here. We don't have any left, right, center, whatever. We are whatever we want to be, okay? All I say, we follow our heart, we follow the truth. So if you want to support the show, there are many ways. One way, you can go to www.zanna.us. Zanna.us, you can download any of my songs for just 99 cents. The song like I played before, Don't Tread on Us, that's one of the songs I produced. But also there is a new novelty today. I just published my first ebook, the first of a long series, I hope. and it's called Lyrics and Poems by luca-zanna. For just $2.99, you can buy on Amazon.com. It's my complete collection of all my lyrics, of all my published songs, and also there are some of my poems and also some of my thoughts. It's a great way. If you want to support the show, buy a copy on Amazon, give me a review. I appreciate it. In this way, that's exactly my goal, to have an open mind to everything, to learn from everybody if it's possible, at the same time to always stay by my heart and by my, let's say, my convictions. But at the same time, I'm the first one to say, if I'm wrong, I really am proud to tell you I was wrong. I'm not kidding you. Sometimes I like to be wrong because I say, wow, I learned a new thing. That's why I'm here, okay? And Ronald is the proof. The fact that after 3 years, we have now a former Republican like myself and I call Ronald a real Democrat, Democrat of JFK party, okay? Today's Democrat is no more Democrat. This is like a fascism on steroids with a red shirt. That's what they are. Seriously. So I'm proud to be your friend, Ronald. Now, maybe I would like to play a little thing, how many minutes do we have left?
5 minutes.
4 minutes, okay. First of all, I want to say...
Do the song again.
Come on, Don't Tread on Us, that's enough. People are getting bored of that Don't Tread on Us. Give me another song.
No, come on, my listeners love that.
I know. I think it's too much. Give me 1 second.
You play I Love Arizona.
Okay, I play I Love Arizona, I promise. Okay. Hopefully they're not...
I'll wait. I'll sit here and listen.
Let's see.
Have another question.
Let me see what I do. Let's do We the People. Number 1. Track number 1, We the People, okay? And I want to leave you before with that one, with a little poem. It's a very short one, this one. My Universe, since this is the hour about love. Sand, ocean, breeze, night, moon, stars. You, my universe. Here we go. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna, and this is We the People.
In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now we are going to get America back. We the people, we're going to fight for our rights. We the people are not afraid to die. Now is the time to remind them what's wrong, what's right. And now is the time to get back our country, to get back our lives. They steal, then they lie, they side with the other side. They forgot that we can fight. We the people, we're going to fight for our rights. We the people are not afraid to die. They try to sell our country, they try to sell our rights. Love for America, no, you can't buy. Amnesty my ass, get back in the line. We are Americans, don't even try. We're ready to fight, we're not afraid to die. Traitors, you can run but you can't hide. Government of the people, by the people.